What's up, y'all? We back on the Mike is Hot Instagram Live podcast show every Thursdays from 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 and 6:30 p.m. Western Time. Welcome back to the show. Waiting for everybody to come on in. Bring yourselves on into the show. We're going to go ahead and get everything started. Once I say some people coming into the live, coming into the chat. Of course, I'm waiting on my co-host to jump on in. I try to get us started on time. So we're going to wait for everybody to arrive. Just hang on tight so we can get the show started on the Mic is Hot. Facebook Live. We live in here tonight, y'all. Welcome to the Mike is Hot Instagram Live podcast show. Every Thursdays from at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Western Time. Y'all know the vibes. Just hang tight. We waiting on everybody to come on in. Waiting on my co-host to tap in. We running a little bit, but you know, got to give everybody a little time to get on in. So y'all just take your time, relax, vibe out to some music, get your drink. Get your popcorn, get your munchies, get your snacks, whatever you need to get. And we live. Stay tuned. What's up?
Just went out. Fuck.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I'm just trying to get my headphones to work.
Oh, your headphones is, I know, man. This tech shit, man. Just hang on tight, y'all. We're trying to get everything right. You know, little technical issues. We still starting out. This is our 22nd episode for the night, y'all. Thank you to everybody that's been consistent and showing mad love and being on the show and being a fan of the show. We appreciate you all and all the love that's being shown. I've been getting a lot of interesting messages and comments. So thank you to everybody. And if you're on Facebook Live joining us tonight, welcome. What's up, Michael?
What's up? Give me 1 second. I'm getting situated.
All right, we getting situated. Y'all hold tight now.
No, you know what it is? It's like I've been trying to like get these headphones to work so I can hear people clearer and better. So it's like I have like 3 different like wireless headphones, and each time like I put them on or like the start of the show happens, like it just cuts off like the connection with like Bluetooth that cuts, and it's like now I have to talk through like the microphone that's on the phone. It's kind of like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like the sound quality is just not as good, so that's why. And like I can't hear that well either, so that's why I'm like using my headphones. But each time we start the show, the shit just cuts off. I'm like, what the fuck? So it just hurts my feelings, It's like
they don't want us to be great. Oh, we got our boy Kenny Ken. Where we Kenny Ken? Sorry, Ken, I didn't even see the notification pop up. I seen it now. You should be coming on in.
you still at work? What the hell?
So as you can see, I'm
Nah,
still at
man.
work. I'm I am waiting on my ride to get home, but I just wanted to say hey to all of our viewers, hey to my fellow co-hosts, and just wanted to say I'm right here rocking with y'all, and then as soon as I get home, I'll be able to talk about things. I know y'all gonna talk about stuff, but I'll be able to talk about more stuff eventually. For sure.
Okay, we're gonna wait for you. We're gonna wait for you.
Is there anything in particular you want
jump
to
into the first topic.
What time I was gonna say, like, was there anything that he wanted us like to wait out on until he gets home, or?
I mean, y'all can. I mean, do your thing. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll at least go ahead. We'll at least go into the first topic and get started. By we gonna mellow it out so we can stretch it till you get to the crib.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all was waiting for Kenny Ken and wish him blessings while he's driving home.
All right,
yeah, get home safe because we know how those Uber drivers are.
Safely. Now,
for sure.
don't get nasty with nobody.
I'll tell you all about it. Her name's Jasmine. Okay, in case I come up missing, put an APB out. Okay.
Okay, Jasmine. Jasmine.
That ain't no E. It's just JASMIN. Just to let y'all know.
Bitch, what you do to my brother? Where'd he go?
Right?
If I don't show up.
Oh my God, yo. We live in here. We live.
Man, don't have me hating like nothing but Jasmine's like each time I introduce myself to someone or I meet like a girl named Jasmine. Because that's what's gonna happen. Like if you end up going missing,
right?
Like I would forever like have. I'm just saying, just in case shit happens, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, that's gonna be like it's gonna be a cause and effect. If something happens to Ken while this like Uber driver, you know what I'm saying, drives home, I'm gonna forever have the name Jasmine in the back of my mind as like she's gonna be like an MCU supervillain.
Oh my God,
you know what I'm saying?
For real.
Like, hi, my name's Jasmine. Fuck you, bitch.
Right.
Kill you.
Right.
Hell no.
You and them Avengers. Right. You and them Avengers on your shirt better avenge my death.
You know we are.
Right.
You know we on it.
I saw Bone Collector.
Yeah, we might we might show up late, but like we'll definitely avenge your death.
That's what's up.
Especially if Christina's the leader of the group.
Be quiet.
I can see that as a scene too.
Let me just tell y'all what motherfucking happened.
I can see that as a scene too.
My goddamn notes just deleted.
Right. That's right, Charmaine. Liam Charmaine Neeson is what we gonna call you. You better find her.
My notes just deleted. You heard me?
Your notes just what?
Yeah, but it's okay.
How did you do that,
it's okay. I don't know what happened. I had myself when I be posting stuff to put what we're talking about on our posts. It was still highlighted, and I clicked on it. I double tapped it in my notes, and it deleted that shit. But it's okay. I got a post, so I can see the topic.
God damn it, Christina.
Yeah, it happens. I'm
That's all
sorry, y'all.
right.
I don't know why.
Guess what? Because guess what? We got the other Christina in the house. Hey!
Hey!
Hey,
What's going on, Christina?
Tina! What's up, girl? How you
we need you to play.
feeling?
We need you to replace our Christina. Yo, she stopped that laugh real fast. I was like, oh shit.
Anyways. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get the party started. And I'm going to run down the topics that we're going to discuss while we wait on our other co-host, Kenny Kenyatta, to get home so he can join in and tap in and give us his thoughts and opinions on the topics we're going to be talking about tonight. So just to give you guys a quick...
Who the hell is Kenny Kenyatta?
You are Kenny Kenyatta to me. I love it. It has a good ring to it, Kenny, because I call you Kenny. Kenyatta is your name.
Damn.
I call you Kenny. So I made
hilarious.
that up. I did that.
I know.
Everybody gonna be like, all the fans gonna be like, Kenny.
Okay. Yup. That's exactly what I want them to
Ken's
sound
gonna be like, ew, get away from me. That's not my name. Don't touch me.
And I'm gonna be like, no, y'all call him Kenyatta. Y'all don't call him Kenny. That's my name. That's mine.
Right. I'll be looking like,
Back up. COVID.
Right. 6 feet. Okay.
You're breaking the law. Now. Back it on up. No, we just playing. We love all y'all. And thank y'all to everybody that be tuning in and tapping in with us. And shout out to our girl, Tina. She be in the chat all the time on the show. She's one of our regulars. We love you, girl. Thank you for your support. You are greatly appreciated. Ken will be back. He gotta get home. So, all right, welcome to the Mic is Hot, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and run down the topics we're gonna be discussing tonight. So the first topic is more of a relationship topic because I have literally today, Michael, are you still there? Oh.
I'm still here.
Okay, literally today.
I'm just sending out like messages to everyone else, like, hey, we live right now. So,
yeah.
My bad. I'm working.
No, you're good. I wasn't sure if the screen had froze.
Yeah.
I've literally been seeing this on Facebook a lot. This topic, who's the real catch, the man or the woman? Do men really need women, or are we the asset to their needs? And are women environmentally dependent on man for provision and survival? That's our first topic for the night. So y'all get y'all little notes, pads ready, or whoever want to chime in the chat. We also got our sex topic talk. Let's talk about sex, baby. So our sex topic talk tonight is going to be sex toys and the effects of replacing a man, which is because sex toys are typically used by women for the majority part, and the effects of replacing a man's touch and feel for intimacy. So this is kind of more so to those people. You don't even have to necessarily say a man, any human being's touch, feel for intimacy if you're into toys and play, and what extent, to go, and then maybe not to all the way go when it comes to sex toys. And of course, one of the big topics that's been trending pretty heavy this week is the National Education Association debates on whether to replace birthing parent over mother. I put shaking my head. Nah, I'm the mama over here. Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm. And then of course, a topic that, something that went extremely viral, globally viral, made it to the news, which is kind of embarrassing. Some New York girls vandalized a burger place. I did not get the name of the place that they vandalized in New York over $1.75 sauce. How does this make our community look as far as the Black community when we try to ask for respect and reparations for our people, but then we show out and we act a fool? The incident went globally viral. Shaking my head because an incident like that should not have went globally viral. So it's kind of embarrassing. Then we got our, I don't have like a little blowhorn thing, but our hot trending topic alert. Something that popped up this. There you go. That was good, Michael. That was good.
Oh no, we can go back in like in the early 2000s and like use the horn like.
We gotta get we need a sound bite. I should have put up a sound bite. Our hot trending topic alert that we just had to kind of just throw this one in there just because it was wild and trending and hot. An anesthesiologist over in Brazil, I believe, gets caught doing sexual acts to his patients while performing a C-section. An anesthesiologist, you guys. Apparently, the anesthesiologist was putting his, excuse my French, dick in patient's mouth.
You could have said penis. You could have said penis.
Penis.
But when you say dick, it's just so vulgar. It's like.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry for saying dick. I said it again. Putting his nasty. The reason why I said dick is because it's nasty. But putting his penis, in patient's mouth while performing. I don't know why when you say penis, it just sounds small. Like penis, it just sounds small.
I mean, I watch porn all the time, and like when they say penis, they make it sound big. Like, oh my god, your penis! I just think you know what it is, Christina? I think you've been like with a lot of like small penis men. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, it's like forever, like just stuck in your head. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, like I've been with so many dudes with small penises. So like all guys have small penises. You know, and then the one guy that actually has like a normal sized penis or like a bigger penis, you fall in love with and you want to marry, but then he treats you like shit, and then you like fuck him, and then fuck all men, and
No. I've seen a good variety. Not telling all my business, but I've seen a good variety.
Have you now? Let us know more.
I done seen big ones to where I'm like, that's not going up in me. I done seen little ones to where it slip out. I done seen average ones. So they all pretty much look the same, just different colors. Anyways, all right.
Hey, you know what? It's almost the same with me and vaginas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen like really small ones. So like when I go inside, it's kind of like, oh my God, I feel like a god. And then like I've seen like really big ones. It's kind of like, God damn, this is the Grand fucking Canyon. Like shit, like what am I supposed to do with this? Like the whole neighborhood was inside you.
I've never heard of a big vagina.
Of course you haven't, because this is a secret that women want to be kept secret.
I gotta see that one. Holy crap!
Wait, you never? Okay, all right. Let's continue. That'll be another topic for another day.
So I do have a video to show of the gentleman doing what he did. So it is a trigger warning. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right. So the first topic: who's the real catch? And everybody in the audience. Hot dog thrown down the hallway. Anybody in the audience, please go ahead, chime in, put your comments in the chat. We want to hear you out there. Who's the real catch for everybody that's been on Facebook? We opening up this topic right now because I've been seeing y'all on Facebook talking all about this all week. Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at kids' comment. That's funny.
I just saw that hot dog. All right, so who's the real catch? The man or the woman? Do men really need women, or are we the asset to their needs? Now, the reason why I say that is because I've been seeing a lot of men when this topic and this question comes up. From what I've been seeing on social media, especially on Facebook, on some of these Facebook groups, a lot of men have been saying that men don't really necessarily need women. They only need women for sexual favors and to procreate, and that it's vice versa. that women cannot survive either way it goes without men. That means living in your environment, having a home, because men need to build homes. Just basic things, even as far as working. Most corporations, for the most part, are dominated by males. So I just want to know everybody's opinion on this one. It's just pretty much an open topic to discuss. What do you guys think? Do you think that it's really like it's? And then they also, I've heard some people say that the reason why the man is the catch, even some women have said this, the man is the catch because the man is the one who chooses who's going to be his wife. We don't choose who's going to be our husband. They ultimately have to be the one to propose to you and make you a wife. So if you're the chosen one, the man is the catch because now you've been chosen to be a wife and basically be kind of like taken care of, provided for, things of that nature. So what do you guys think? What's your opinions and your thoughts, everybody in the chat? Or is it a mutual thing? Some people have said that we need each other. Men depend on women for certain needs and nurturing and caterings, and men have emotions too. Men have feelings too. And I personally feel like human beings were not really designed to be alone. That's why you have some people, when they don't have a companion or they're not in a relationship, they go and get a pet. So it's a form of, comfort. It's a form of not being alone. Nobody really ultimately wants to be alone. But as far as having the need for the opposite sex, what do you guys think about this? Yeah, I agree with you.
You're absolutely right, though. Like, you're absolutely right. We weren't designed to be alone. That's why women have the ability to create babies, and men, we just provide, the seed. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, you guys are the ones that have to go through all that shit, and thank God, because but
yeah.
For me, but to answer that question, for me personally, it's kind of like in the end, because I don't want to start off by saying like controversy shit, but in the end,
your connection is breaking up a little, Michael.
Is it? God damn it! I don't know what's going on.
It's your connection too. It's like what's going on with your connection? It's a little slow.
But all right, how's it now?
A little bit better.
Fuck.
But we might can rock with it. Just see, it's like you're usually way more clear than that.
Fuck. I don't know what's going on. Maybe my internet is like acting up. But all right, I'm gonna try to.
It's okay. Go ahead.
All right. But anyway, yeah. Lost my train of thought. Like, well, in the end, like we both need each other. It's kind of like as far as like survival, it's like yes, women like need us. Yeah, you guys need us for survival. It's like taking emotions out of it. If you just think logically, men have built a world. Men have built technologies. Reason why we're on this show right now is because a man created it. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that a woman can't do it or, can't create more shit in the future, but it's like, we men like help, how can I say this in the right, what's the right saying for this? It's like women help like preserve life. Help continue life. Without women, we can't do it. I mean, granted, we need each other for that. But it's like, creating, buildings, bridges, cars, airplanes, helping improvement with travel and whatnot. That was majority men created that. So, but in the end, we all need each other. It's like we can't continue life. Life can't go on without women. And women need our seat. Unless like women got together all the men in the world and forced them to jerk off inside a jar and they just put it in like in a freezer, and every couple of like years and shit, women would inject themselves with like some dude's semen, then yeah, then you guys don't need us. But it's like, like we need each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's how
I agree with you to that degree, but I do think that men are more that they set the foundation. I feel like men set a foundation and women add to it. Just like when they say, okay, the man can provide the home, but then the woman or house, but then the woman makes the house a home. She decorates the inside. She cooks the food. She prepares the meal. She keeps the house clean. So it's like a balance. The man is the foundation and the woman is the asset to what the man sets the foundation of. So I feel like it is mutual, and I don't think that women are just needed for just sex and procreation, even though, yes, that is one of our main key purposes.
No, yeah, I'm just talking about, yeah, when I was saying that was just for the purpose of like continuation of life.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about what I've heard throughout social media. I've had people say, some guys that I've gotten into some discussions with have said, literally, we don't need y'all. We just need you for sex and procreation.
No, yeah, see, that was like, no, yeah, my roommate said I need Christina for sure.
Hi.
Then he put a heart at the end. No. Hey, Steven, hop on. Join the video feed. But no, I think people like that. It's like we just
You're breaking up real bad, Michael. You might have to restart.
All right,
yours is real distorted. Come back.
I'll hop off and hop back on. I'll come back.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, okay, so just to everybody, I'm just going to talk to you guys in the chat here while they're getting themselves all set up and everything. We're having some little tech issues. It happens when you're trying to do all this stuff from different coasts and different areas and internet and all that. So, but yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of things like this on social media. And I just personally believe that there's a balance and there's a reason why there's men and women on the earth. I think that we both have to come together to balance each other out and not just look at each other for what the needs are for. Even though women need men for things and men need women for things. So to count each other out, I think is just kind of like, it's unnecessary and it really doesn't make sense because we can do better if we come together and we understand one another. We understand men take the time to understand women and women take the time to understand men because we are uniquely different for a reason. All right, bringing back on my co-host here. Let's see if his connection is a little better. He was looking like a robot on that camera right there. But yeah, so, to anybody that's been on social media, oh yeah, that's a little bit better.
It's still bad? Fuck.
No, it's better. It's better. Okay. It's better, a lot better. The other shit was on some Minecraft. If y'all know what Minecraft is.
Shit.
I only know
because damn. That's not good at all. What?
It was like, when the graphics on like shit start looking like little blocks, like the picture looked like he was looking like some throwback dial-up service internet. But you're back now. There we go. We can see that beautiful face. All right, so we got
Dannielle in the chat.
Hey, Dannielle. Hi. Thank you for coming in and joining. But yes, exactly, Ken. He says, stop moving so fast, Mike. Your phone can't catch your melanin. Looking like the first Mario game. That's exactly how that shit was looking. Oh, shit, that's yo, good one. That was a good one, Dannielle.
Right, that's fucked up. Hey, I foul, man. That hurt my spirit.
But yes, but you back now. You good now. But yeah, so I agree with you too, though, Michael. Like, okay, so like you're saying, you know, a man created the whole internet and everything like that. But I feel like women also contribute, like, it's like women do their contribution to certain things that men set the foundation for. So
Agree,
I
yeah.
know a black lady created, it has something to do with the GPS. And then I know either a black person, I'm not sure if it was a woman, created like the 3D glasses. But what I feel like is men set the foundation and then women just do their additional contributions to certain things. So yes, I do think that we need men probably more than a lot of women
No,
want to think.
I mean, this, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not going to argue with that. Like, I do agree with that. It's like, women need men more than men need women. But all I'm saying is that at some
I agree with
point,
that
you
too.
know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, the human race will die out because we can't produce anymore because, oh, guess what? We don't have fucking women anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
at some point, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, yeah, we need you. So, you know, but I would say as far as survival, like, no, like men are able to survive on their own. I would say that we don't need
Right.
women to survive, but
I
to
agree
like,
with that.
but to continue life, yeah, of course you need fucking women. That's a no-brainer,
And,
right?
and as far as the catch, who's the real catch? What do you guys think about that statement? Because in a
Bro,
sense, I try to look at it from both perspectives because I'm like, okay, the man does choose, and when we're talking about heterosexual situations, the man does typically choose the wife, even though you have women out here that propose to men. But it's like it's kind of like it's not giving the man his I feel like it's a man's purpose to find a wife in a heterosexual situation. It's a man's purpose
yeah.
to find a wife. It's not our purpose to propose to a man and find a husband. I feel like the woman is supposed to kind of like remain in her femininity, do what she needs to do for herself, be able to take care of herself, things of that nature. And the man recognizes that and sees that she's somebody that he can build or that he matches with. And he knows that if I add her to my situation or add her to me, because once you get married, you become one, blah, blah, blah. We can be something bigger than just what we are individually. That's why I feel like, in a sense, the man really is the catch. But then I do feel. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Dannielle wrote in the chat like, "What is the real catch? Like, what do you?"
And then what
She
did she
asked the
say?
question like, "What is the real catch?"
Okay, and then she said, I think this new age dating is a strange land. Hold on, I'm trying to read what she said. And she said, I wish.
Oh, I got you.
I was a guest on here so I could talk with you.
I wish I was a guest on here so I could talk my shit. Oh, add yourself or request to be on the.
Go ahead.
Well, she's driving. I think she said that she's driving right now, and like,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Well,
whenever you're done driving, like, hop on in, let yourself in. You got to
yeah.
see.
If you want to tap in, Dannielle, and chime in on this topic before we move on to the next one, and you have the chance, yeah. Oh, there she is. All right, so we're gonna get one of our guests in the chat damn, I can't even talk. Chime in on this topic. Lord, I'm tired, y'all. All right, we're waiting on her to. Yes, I am. Hello, hi, beautiful. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Great to have you on the show and chime in on our topic.
Thank you so much for having me as a guest. Oh my God.
Girl, you gonna be on YouTube, girl.
Oh my God.
So
What?
yeah, so our topic is who's the real catch, the man or the woman, and do men really need women, or are we the asset to their needs? And
Mm,
are women environmentally dependent on man for provision and survival? So
mm.
go ahead with your opinion, your thoughts. I would love to hear what you have to say about that.
I think that it's a strange place. Hold on. Can y'all hear me okay? Because I'm in
Yeah,
the
yeah, you're good. You're good. You're
Okay.
excellent.
No, you
Whew.
sound horrible.
You look
Be
horrible.
quiet. Don't listen
We'll
to
talk
him.
about that later.
I'm sorry, I'm not over that fucking Mario joke. That shit pissed me off.
But that's what you was looking like. That's what you was looking like. But go ahead, honey.
I just think that this new age of gender roles is strange because
Yeah.
we kind of still base some of our rhetoric around gender roles on caveman principles as opposed to
Yeah.
like this new age humanity that we live in. And, I don't think that a woman needs a man or a man needs a woman for the same reasons that we once said that these people needed each other. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
need a man to go hunt for me so that I can do the
Right.
cooking and, like
Right.
that type of stuff. So I think it's really strange to talk about it in that way. But as far as like a spiritual connection or just like emotional connection or even just like, what you need in your life, it really just depends on who you are as an individual. And,
I agree
you
with
know,
that.
I think like as a as what they would call a strong independent woman, I don't need a man per se, but I want a man because I feel like it would be a good collaborative effort in this thing we
That's
call
all.
life.
Right. That's what I was just saying. Hey, we got our other co-host back in the
Huh.
show. Kenny Ken, y'all. Hey,
Fuck
baby.
in
How are you
here.
feeling?
Back
How
in.
was work?
Ooh, yeah, yeah. You about to get it. You about to get it, nigga.
No, but so we got Dannielle
Hey,
on the
Danielle.
live with us,
How you doing, Danielle?
Good, how are
looking
you?
beautiful as ever, and she's giving us her opinion on the first topic.
Yeah, I was listening. I was listening. I completely agree with everything you were saying. But continue. I didn't want to
Yes,
cut you
please
off.
continue. Go ahead, finish your thought, honey.
Oh no, it's all good. I was just thinking like it's really interesting the way that a lot of people on the internet really project this idea that you ain't shit if you need a man and you ain't shit if you need a woman. But I commend those
Mm-hmm.
people who know that about themselves because if you know that is a
Mm-hmm.
part of your genetic makeup or if that's a part of your personality or the things that you want, shout out to you for knowing because there's a lot of people who kind of fake the funk in
Yep.
in
Fine.
that, and they act like, oh, well, I don't need nobody and whatever, but really they
Right.
do because of
Right.
whatever it is that they've gone through with their own traumas or the way that they need someone to show up in their life so that they can continue their growth. And there was a point in time in my life where I did need a partner so that I can learn more about myself in a romantic relationship. But now that I know that thing
Mm.
about myself, I know that I don't need a man for that part of myself. I want a man
That
in my life so that
validation.
we can collaborate on this thing we call life. And that's about it.
Hey,
So um, it's just I don't and
that,
then I don't really like talking about like men versus women because that whole rhetoric in and of itself is divisive and it makes
yes.
it to where like people really cannot connect with one another because they honestly don't feel like they're on the same playing field. They don't think they're on the same ground, and it gets really tricky and it's kind of sad because in this day and age you see a lot of that rhetoric and a lot of those conversations being had where it's very much so binary, one side versus the
Yes.
other, not in the sense of gender, but in the sense of like these positions that people hold because they're not holding space or grace for the other side of the story. So, I don't know. That was
It's
really my 2
never,
cents.
and I
No, I
agree.
agree with you completely.
It's never about the solution. It's always talking about the problem constantly. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
what we want to do is, I think the intention of calling out those particular topics is to say that here's the problem, right?
Right.
So let's
Exactly.
try and bridge the gap so we can be able to fix it. But a lot of people who talk about it don't never really come to a point of trying to figure out what is the solution.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
It becomes this whole back and forth ping pong game with the gender wars, with the men going against the women and the women going against the men. And it's like, that's not really bringing us together if we don't know how to resolve the issue at hand.
That's because you're literally looking at hurt people speak on their pain, but not know where the hurt comes from. And when you have people that are triggered and they have these traumas in their lives that they don't really know how to speak to, like me and Mike talk about traumas and stuff all the time. Every time I get with them, I'm like, hey, yo, we've grown as human beings because when we first met, we was at each other's throat, like about to kill each other. And now we can actually stand one.
Y'all should have heard our first interaction, boy.
Yo,
I believe it. I believe it, girl.
I was just about to say.
Oh wait. I don't like how y'all said that. I don't like how y'all said that. What the fuck?
We love you.
We don't
mean it like that, Michael. We just know, Michael. We just know that you stand on what you say. You're very strong with what you mean.
No,
I get it.
Those things are the traits that I love about Michael. I like that.
Me too.
That's what I like about him. He doesn't cower in the face of adversity. He's a very hardworking individual. And when he's stubborn on something, it means that he really believes it because he'll be passionate until the dying end. But I am also
that is you all day.
That's why we almost killed each other literally the night.
Don't big him up.
Really full conversation. It was really trill, but it also it went to show like we had a lot of things that were happening in the background with our own triggers and traumas where we couldn't even hear the other person speaking. So then when we came back to the conversation, we were able to say like, "Yo, here's what my intentions were in saying that thing. Here's what I meant when I said that, and that's not how it came out because in that moment I was upset." And I was passionate because you were coming at me with this energy. And I think that's what you see a lot of when it comes to these like gender wars or like, man versus women or these binary conversations about like, oh, well, here's the problem and let's beat the problem to death. You have people really speaking from a hurt place and they cannot get out of the hurt place. One, because they're around other hurt people who can
who are bigging them up.
They're stroking that,
just relating to the hurt, and they don't really have a solution for it. So it's like you have these groups of people who are navigating towards that rhetoric and that energy, and then you have these people that are kind of outcasted for thinking otherwise because it's easier to be a victim than it is to be a victor. And it's really sad that these people spiral in these circles, but it's understandable that you only see those conversations happening because when you're hurt, you're going to sit there and talk about your woe is me situation and people will keep
misery love company.
Everybody hurt. Everybody
hurt. Right? Misery love company. Yeah, that's true. And everybody goes through that. And you have that's an amazing perspective, an amazing, well put together because especially if all you're seeing is the same thing, the same, back and forth conversation between men and then the same back and forth conversation between women. And like she said, those people are stemming from experiences that they've had and maybe haven't had a positive outcome out of that experience. So now you have everybody that's sharing the same experience instead of somebody that one, even if it's that one person that comes in and says, well, hey, I had the same experience, but I learned something positive out of that experience, or I know another route to go around, not keep reiterating that same negative energy. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I see it on Facebook, I'm like, okay, everybody keeps saying the same thing, but nobody is saying how we can come together or it's always negative connotations behind it. Like, oh, well, you'll see the title of the topic and then it'll be, oh, well, men don't need women. We don't need y'all. We don't. And then you got the other bandwagon of men that jump on like, yeah, we don't need y'all. Then you got the women that are like, then you got some women that even jump on the bandwagon with the men. You got some women that jump on the bandwagon with the men too. Like, yeah, they don't need us. And it's like, well, hold on, wait a minute. you gotta redirect that conversation to show how we do need each other, not how we don't need each other, because that's not going to bring any balance and that's not going to bring us together. And you need more relationships. You need more love. You need more coming together. It needs to be more couples and marriages happening than just people being single and people hooking up and then getting tired of hooking up with that one and then hooking up with that one, tired of hooking up with that one. You know what I mean? It's like people aren't even taking the time to really learn and understand one another and actually build a relationship. It takes time to get to know somebody and build a rapport, build a relationship, know what they like, don't like, dislike, not just what you need and what you want from a person. All that stuff will fall into place, but you've got to have a understanding and a balance. And men and women sometimes, I think, need to also understand that we are different for a reason, but we need to understand the differences between each other so we can come together, because women aren't going to be like men and men aren't going to be like women. We're unique for a reason. We just have to find the balance for each other so we can sustain with one another and not be going at each other's throats.
I think you're onto something, but the problem with that is that most of these people need to go to therapy because they have attachment issues, they have development issues. They have issues. They have bipolar depression, anxiety. They have all these things.
I agree, Dannielle. Because sometimes
you're right.
They tend to use this as therapy. They tend to use the podcast or the talking it out as therapy when that is not. It's not
posting
working
on Facebook.
It's not working. And let me say really quickly, I think it has a lot to deal with everyone's constantly speaking about what they want and what they don't want, as opposed to what would truly help is being transparent as to why you want and don't want it. You know what I mean? And I feel like being transparent and being a little bit more getting other people to understand why you feel that way, and what past experience has led you to feel that way, then it makes it a little bit more. You gain a little bit more clarity on the situation. Why I've dealt with a couple of different women, or I've dealt with a couple of different men, where in this particular situation, this has happened. So now for me, I require this, you know what I mean? Or I require that. And then you try to break that down. And then that's where the conversation starts. That in itself is therapy, right?
Right, exactly.
But it becomes a thing where it's like you're constantly, like you were saying, Dannielle, it's hurt people giving advice to that hurt, and people relating to that. And I completely agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and I agree with that as well. Michael, do you want to chime in a little bit more before we move on to the next topic? Yeah, we see it.
First of all,
I'll get off after this.
I'm not about to do nothing math.
Okay. I know. Okay, Dannielle. Well, look, we're gonna have to bring you back on the show as like maybe one of our like a guest and actually be on the whole show. Whenever you're free on a schedule, and you can let us know when you have a free day or when you're not doing anything, and you can come on the show. It's only usually on for about 2 hours.
Yeah, especially like we need to have her come on when we talk about business and tech. That is
yes. We want, that's what it was. Even if we just do an episode, because I want to do an episode where we have a couple of people that come on that are starting their own businesses. I have a friend that he's actually a cannabis grower, and I wanted to have him come on the show too and talk about just the whole, not just cannabis, but just the whole dynamics of growing plants. Yeah, just growing plants and everything. And, I think it'll be beneficial to people because you never know. You might need to start growing some shit. That's all I'm going to say.
But hold on, Christina. Dannielle wanted to drop some knowledge real quick.
Go ahead, baby.
The one thing I'll leave y'all with before I get out of here is when I was going through the tough of my healing when it came to romantic relationships, I had to sit down and write out my non-negotiables. And basically what the non-negotiables were the things that I absolutely need that's not negotiable in any life of the
Oh
word.
yeah.
So like safety and
Mm.
security is number one on there. Open, honest communication is on there.
Right.
Just like some of these really core conditions that have to exist in order for people to be in my life, let alone a romantic partner. And I think that that's a really good first action step for anybody who might be watching this, listening to this, and really have questions about like, yo, where can I get started? An action item
Right.
to move forward is to really get serious about like, what do you need? And it's like you were saying earlier, where it's like, most people don't even know what they want, or they're talking about what they want and what they don't want, not necessarily why they want those things. So if you break it down into like 5 things that are non-negotiable for you, you will really, really put a light on your own character and your needs as they exist in your life, regardless of what the relationship is. So that's all
Y'all
I
heard
agree with
that?
that. That was beautiful.
5.
Thank you, Danielle.
Y'all
That's
heard that?
good.
Five things. 5 things, not
I'm gonna do
12.
my due diligence tonight, girl. Thank you. For
Not
Thank you
real.
for
12.
having me.
Yeah, thank you so
Yes, baby.
much.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Mwah,
Thank
much
you,
love to you. And we'll have you on the
Danielle.
show soon. Have a
That
good
was
night, honey
great.
bunny.
You
She's
too.
beautiful.
Bye.
Stunning. Bye. Thank you. She's gorge. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that
Hottie
whole changes when you
toddy.
get into an
Very well
argument with her,
said.
though.
She's beautiful, though. Beautiful. Yes, we're going to have her on the show. She's got her own business, you were saying, Michael?
Yeah, she's like very big in the tech. Like she started off with like a donut company. I think she moved on from that. Like, yeah, she's like very well versed within like tech companies and like whatnot. So that's why I think especially for like black women who are like very interested in like tech and computers and whatnot, and like being like engineers when it comes to like the computer world. Like she would be an amazing asset to have on the show when we have a show based on like starting up your own business. So I know me and
Yeah, I
Charmaine need to
definitely.
be on that show together. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I definitely want to have her on the show. And then I wanted to have one of my friends come on the show too with this. He does like a growing cannabis type situation. I don't know if I'll be able to get him on the show just because he's always really, really busy. But even if we just did an episode where we have people chime in, people in the chat that might know some things about starting a business, whatever type of business, just giving us the dynamics, the first set of rules, set of tools, whatever you need to give people the basics to get them started. Because sometimes when people want to start a business, they get very overwhelmed. So that would be great. She was beautiful, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Danielle. And she did follow us. Thank you, baby. Thank you
Thanks,
so much for the
Danielle.
Thank
love.
you
Appreciate
so
You
that.
much,
guys are
Danielle.
amazing.
That
You guys
was
are
very
amazing.
poignant. Very poignant.
Yes, so we're gonna move to our next topic, guys, real quick. We won't stay too long on this one. Where did I go? Where did it go? Okay, so it's our Let's Talk About Sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's
We
talk
shouldn't
about
hold
all
that to like
the
the end
things and
to
the
make us feel
things
better.
that baby. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex. No, we're gonna go ahead and talk about it now because it's relationship
I feel like
oriented. We're gonna
the
get it out
sex
the
should
way.
come at the end. You know what I'm saying?
We're
It's kind
gonna
of
get it
like
out the
because like
way.
sex always cheers
No,
you up.
because
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's
no,
good sex.
because look. No, because the hot trending topic is the thing with the guy, the thing, the thingy thing, the thing with the thing.
Oh, okay.
That was our throw in topic, so we got to throw that on at the
Should end it
end.
on an upper, not a downer. You know?
Well, if you want to switch it up, you want to talk about that first. I feel like that's an upper. It's kind of it's kind of
Wait,
not funny.
wait. What guy are you
I don't,
talking about? You
I
talking
don't
about
know.
the doctor?
Yeah, the doctor.
Yeah, that
I'm not
shit
saying
ain't an
it's.
upper at
I'm not
all.
saying it's a. I'm not saying it's a good thing. That's an upper. I'm just saying it's not really like you think it's. I don't think it's really a downer.
First of
That
You
all,
think so?
is
I just want to say, audience out there, I'm sorry. I know y'all don't know what we talking about because I don't
I'm
either.
sorry. Okay, so look. Okay, so do you want?
I
Let me just
don't.
let's hurry up because I don't want to run out of time. Do you want to flip it and talk about that first, and then do the sex topic last?
no. Do your thing. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
interrupted
so
you. Sorry.
okay,
Do your
let me
thing.
just get this one out of the way because it's not going to be long. This is the sex toys topic and the effects of replacing a man's touch and feel for intimacy or anyone's touch for and feel for intimacy. So the where I got this topic was off of Daily Wrap Up Crew. there was an episode off of Daily Wrap Up Crew. Shout out to Daily Wrap Up Crew. I believe the episode was called Culture versus Culture. And they had two young ladies up there with the main topic of the show was talking about just like the differences in the culture. And one young lady up there was talking about how she wants to date somebody that's more cultured and Black American guys are not cultured enough and how Black Americans don't have culture, blah, blah, blah. But in the midst, We've talked about this before already, the cold culture thing. I think we did that a couple episodes ago. In the midst of that,
so she said that we still listening to her. I just want to throw that out there.
No, in the midst of that came after. In the midst of that,
she can be ignorant in one area and then like actually be intelligent in another.
I know.
That exists.
Right. So in the midst of that, she never replaced you with. In the midst of that, she was talking about sex toys. And we just got finished talking about how men and women not needing each other. They specifically said on the show that they did not need a man for certain things. She was like, I got my own money. I got my own business. I don't need a man for money. And I don't need a man for sex. And she specifically mentioned her Rose. If anybody doesn't know what a Rose is, the new Rose vibrators, they have all different kinds. They got some that squirt water out, they vibrate, they rotate, they got some with the tongue on it, and for all these different pleasures for the female vaginal stimulation, right? Mm-hmm. So she was on the show talking with the guys, and she was saying basically how the guys ended up asking her, well, why do you feel like, you don't need a man for sexual stimulation? And she proceeded to say that a man does not get her off as quick as her sex toy does. So in retrospective to that, I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on sex toys and vibrators, especially this will really kind of go with the women. If you do use toys, use dildos, vibrators, whatever, do you guys think that over excessive use, only because Shorty said, no man can get me off in 3 seconds. First of all, I don't think I don't know if I can get myself off in 3 seconds. I ain't never tried. But I don't know, Michael, can you get yourself off in 3 seconds?
Hell no. Maybe when I was like fucking 10, but it's like,
if I can pull this up.
All right, well, I'll go first.
I don't think any man can.
Yeah, that's so stupid. So I'll go first. First of all, this girl is full of shit. She's fucking capping her ass off. Like maybe she does get herself off in 3 seconds. I guess. I don't know. Like, who gives a fuck? Because she's so ignorant. I don't even care. But it's like, why? Like, yeah, why? Why would you want that? What's the nut in 3 seconds? And it's what? You just up and out of there? Like, damn.
Right,
like,
she said that. CT said not even one.
Right. Thank you, Tina. Not even a warm up. It's like, god damn.
That ain't even no foreplay.
Even
literally,
it's kind of like, we don't talk as much shit about it, but it's like, damn, can you at least tickle it first? Like, fuck, like you just. That's how you know she's full of shit. Honestly, I felt like homegirl. She was just playing the character.
Playing too much.
I felt like she was just. I felt like she was just playing. She was playing the character. You know what I'm saying? She was on the show, the Daily Wrap Up Crew, an extremely popular fucking show. Popular fucking show. They have over 100,000 followers. So it's like, oh, this is my time to shine. So I'm gonna cap my ass off and if you can't make me come in 3 minutes, then I don't need a minute. It's like. 3, come on, bitch, stop it.
But look,
come on, man.
But look, do you guys think this though? This is for some of the ladies too. If you use, I don't know, for some of y'all ladies, y'all know what that bullet is, right? It's a little vibrator, and it looked like a bullet. It literally looked like a bullet, and I'm talking about the speed on that motherfucker is almost terrifying. It goes up so high, you can hear the, you know what I'm saying? So what I want to know is, do you think if you use vibrators, maybe not necessarily dildos, I don't really know because I don't even the whole fingering thing. I never really liked that. I feel like you scratching something, you might be scratching my walls. I just don't like that. I don't like it. So I don't like that. People don't clean their fingernails. I just don't want your fingers. I don't want that.
I'm highly
I don't put
offended right now, Christina. All right, like
I
back in
don't
high
like
school, back in high school, I was like one of the top like finger fuckers. So like I'm offended. I'm offended.
Not a finger fucker.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like before I had
Christina,
sex
like,
with a woman, like
stop it, stop,
I was a top rated finger fucker. That's all I was saying.
Yo, shut up. Hell no, I don't even, I've never ever used a dildo. I've tried a vibrator once and I did not like it. It was too much sensation for me. I swear to God, I did not like it. It was too much sensation. I didn't like it. As soon as it hit my clit, I was like, oh, I didn't like that. It was just too much. It didn't make me feel like, ooh. It made me feel like this shouldn't be on my clit. But to each his own, and every female is different. Some people have a little bit more of a, like an intense, it takes a little bit more for them to be aroused. So I just want to know to some of the ladies or anybody in the chat. Somebody says, oh, Tina said it's like a jackhammer. Girl, yes, that goddamn bullet. I don't know how anybody used that shit. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? But anyways, do you guys think?
What's a jackhammer?
What?
You
A
know what
jackhammer?
a jackhammer is?
Oh no, I thought that was like in reference towards like another toy and
like
shit.
another toy.
No, she was, but she was talking about the bullet.
Like a jackhammer.
Yes, that fucking bullet go. It's the speed on that bitch is crazy. But anyways, I just want to know: do you guys think that if you overly excessively use vibrators, that it's a possibility that it can numb or do some type of, I'm not going to say damage, but maybe your body starts to get used to a certain type of sensation, or your sensitivity sensation kind of dulls or numbs, because the clit is like very, very sensitive. It's not supposed to take much if you touch the clitoris for an arousal. So what do you guys, just a quick fun conversation. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think too much of anything good is a lot, right? So like you probably should not be using a vibrator as much as you brush your teeth, right? Like or pee or like use the bathroom or shower, you know what I mean? Like
you taking that bitch everywhere you go,
right? Like I mean like I feel like
it also depends on her situation.
Like what you mean?
I mean,
like she could be like a woman that's like not over a very traumatic relationship. She still wants to be a sexually active person, but she doesn't want to fuck a guy, and she's not homosexual, so she doesn't want to fuck a woman. So therefore, she overly uses a sex toy.
Oh, okay.
That's not. Yeah, no. No. Yeah, no.
Why no?
Well, no, I feel like even just because you're straight out of a relationship doesn't mean that like you should overuse it. You know what I mean? Like it's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like a break in case of emergency type situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Take your little hammer, open that shit up, and then use it. Not so much as like
Barrett.
Hey Barrett. Barrett would come in on this topic.
You little nasty Barrett.
Nasty. But it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, use sparingly.
Right.
Don't use excessively. I think because then you'll end up getting the next dude, and then the next dude would be like, well, damn, I'm working like, god damn, like what should I be doing? Like
she's sitting there like this.
Right. Right. Because that bullet was doing it better. Of course, Of course, the old girl was like, "Yeah, the rose does better." Yeah, because she using it.
Yeah, because it's
Like,
a fucking
for like
machine,
3 seconds, she
dumbass.
throwing it down there and then throwing the shit away, and it's like,
Like, I'm
who
sorry,
can
I get
who
tired
can
too.
compare?
I need to rest. I need a
Who
break.
can compare?
Damn.
Look,
Who
the
wants to work
goddamn
a
toy
12-hour
probably
shift?
screaming.
Right,
The
Shit.
toy
right.
probably screaming. The toy probably hurting, hoping the batteries go down and everything.
You want me to be a bullet? First of all,
Honestly, like,
first of all, when it comes to her in particular, it's very okay. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I just think,
I
like,
feel
honestly, like, just how she said it, she just sounds very fucking lonely.
She did.
Like, that sounded so sad that, like, you try to
She
prop
did.
yourself up so much to the point where you say, like, oh, all I need is my money and my sex toy. I don't need another person, whether it's a man or a woman.
And she was like,
yeah,
I'll
that's
die with it. She said
that
she'll
goes
die with it.
directly back.
Yeah,
That goes
it's like,
directly
so
back to what Dannielle was saying, was that you could tell she's hurt to a point where
Right.
she feels as though she can't necessarily get a man. So a man can't compare to what she can do for herself. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it sounds layered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
and what
you know what?
they're not asking the right questions.
She should start like a trend to where like people who only have sex with sex toys and that's it. A toy sexual.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking
I
that's
think
what I said. Maybe she
You
she
said a
just
toy sex group?
A toy sexual.
Mike, stop it.
A person that only fucks sex toys.
Mike, stop.
I think she should start it. Why not? People come up with all types of like isms and like different fucking like terms and categories and shit. Why can't she just start like her own like fucking business and be like, oh yeah, like I only fuck toys, therefore I'm a toyism person.
A toys. Lord Jesus. No.
She only has sexual intercourse or sexual action with sex toys.
Of offending. That's okay.
How's that offensive?
Because you kind of making fun of sexualities.
So she can make fun of me. So she can make fun of me, a man, not being able to make her come in 3 fucking minutes. But I can't give her advice as far as her starting her own fucking like business, or her terminology, as far as like, I only have sex with toys.
No, you making it seem as though like you're insulting her, but you're insulting a community that.
How am I insulting? How so? I'm talking about a sexual preference. Not
right, you're talking about all sexual preferences, whereas it could run.
I'm only talking about specifically people.
I know.
I mean, well, listen, if people who only fuck sex toys or dolls or whatever, if you get hurt by that, I don't give a fuck. Get over it, all right? I'm sorry, all right? Stop cry me a fucking river, okay?
I'm talking about
other
identities.
See the difference.
I'm not talking about that community. And if that is a community. Because
it might be.
Because
it might be.
That's what she can be the founder. She can be the founder of that community.
You ignorant. You ignorant.
I'm ignorant. Really? I'm ignorant?
Yes.
Wow.
No, we making jokes.
Wow.
So look, he could be right though. There could be a community of women. Now, the only reason why I say that is because they have parties where it's mainly women who are really into toys, to the point homegirl even on the show was like, I want to use the rose on my man. If I can't use it on my man, he ain't freaky enough. Love it.
I mean, I mean, I like that. That goes back to like Dannielle and what she was saying when it comes to putting the right things that are deal breakers on your list. If that's a deal breaker for you, then
Right.
you're gonna be single for a while.
For a good while.
For a good while. So enjoy that toy and others. Enjoy
I mean,
that
it's
toy.
just,
I
she
mean,
already
I
said that
think
she's going to die if that toy in her bag. So it's like,
She did say that.
I mean,
But you know what?
I think
That
it's
was a
nothing
cover up.
wrong. I think it's nothing wrong with sometimes their like pleasure classes or pleasure parties, a lot of the time where they will have
That's what it's called, a pleasure party.
They will bake food in the shape of a dick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they will do certain things where it's a little bit more about
y'all seen that new store in Massachusetts?
It's more about
do they?
women. It's more
I didn't know
about
that.
women empowerment in terms of like them being single, right? So like,
yeah. No, wait, hold on.
He challenged that.
He going somewhere.
Because
Go ahead,
men
King.
have sex toys too. We have blow up dolls. I challenge that as far as like women empowerment. So it's like, how's that like? Well, men have sex toys too.
Okay.
Of them being single.
Stop. I'm not talking about men right now.
Right.
I'll get to that. Okay.
No, I'm just talking about like, how's that female empowerment? It's like, that's not female empowerment.
Because
like a woman.
Single.
Okay, let me answer.
Go ahead.
Ask your question, Mike. Ask your question, and then I'm gonna wait.
My question is, how is that female empowerment? How do you define that as female empowerment?
Female empowerment, they're bigging up each other to be able to say that you can pleasure yourselves, right?
Because so like, by yourself.
and here's how, as far as like, it's more so about single women until you get a man.
Right. That's exactly what it is. At the pleasure party.
And it's more, we were talking about it last week. It's a difference between a sex education class or sex education and sex classes.
Right.
A lot of women, so sometimes it could benefit you. Sometimes they be
teaching them
how to perform fellatio, right?
Yeah, they be teaching all of that.
All of that. They teach a lot of different things. They teach how to use your mouth putting the condom on. You know what I mean? So like, it's a lot of different things that goes on those sex parties that are more about women being women, being single women, being sexual partners, like all of that. It's more so about the powers of sex.
Yeah,
and empowering each other to be able to do that. Now, men are not having those parties because they're not. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Challenge it before I can finish the sentence, right?
Okay, go ahead.
A lot of men are not necessarily having that because a lot of them can't necessarily humble themselves to be like, hey man, you need to use your dick like this.
Right. Look, like Mary just said, we don't need the help.
That's why you don't a lot of the time if men are having sex parties, a stripper is there.
Right. It's for entertainment and for pleasurable purposes for them. They not telling each other, yo, nigga, let me show you how you put your tongue on
how you do your stroke real nice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Let me show you how you. Not this. How you
to enjoy.
It's that situation of it's checking your ego and that's what makes it a little bit more. You don't hear about male empowerment parties. You don't hear about male sex parties, but you do hear about women having them just because it's more so about. But now gay men have those things, or a lot of the time gay men will turn up at the females' parties in order to know how to pleasure the male.
That is, I've seen that where I went to a pleasure party one time, and a young lady came with one of her gay friends, male friends, and yeah, he was basically learning.
Or, depending on the party, sometimes they're run by gay men.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. They
Sometimes.
teaching the women how to do certain things. Sometimes I
So there's
haven't
a
seen it, but
possibility that your girl may have learned that trick from a high. Okay, I'm just saying.
that is
I'm not
it's some
disputing
truth
that.
to
You
it.
know, there's definitely possibly some truth in that. Like I just
Yeah, there's
no,
some
like
truth in that.
that was actually like a genuine question because like I didn't, about like sex parties and like well the me asking like why is that considered like women empowerment and like that was a very like thought out like answer. So
Answer. Yeah,
No,
but he's
no. Let me challenge that because that's what it was. It was a challenge.
well,
It
like
was
I am a
less of
little
a.
drunk,
It was a
so like
question
that's
on
where that
top of
part
it.
came
Right.
into. But no,
Okay.
like it was a genuine
Okay.
question. Like I didn't know about it, so like that's why I
yeah,
was
those
curious.
pleasure parties. Yeah, those pleasure parties is a real deal. There's some
For
things that
real.
there's some things that be showing up at them parties. All right, but so we gonna move on to the
I
next
did say
topic
ladies
because
showing.
she said learn from porn, fam. That's right. I learned from the PRN too. Yeah, and just
Pornhub,
a
X
child care.
Hamster. Shit. Let me stop.
Has anybody ever? I'm sorry, I'm gonna get nasty. Has anybody ever choked on a dick? Not you, Michael.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I
I'll be back. Jesus Christ.
I do not need I do not need the sound bite to follow me wherever I go. So I'm a pass on that one. In the words of the late great Aretha Franklin, I'm a pass on that one, okay?
She sure did say that. She did when they asked her about, was it Nicki Minaj? They asked her about some female, city girls or something like that. She said,
Yeah.
oh, Lord.
Yeah, they was like, he was like Nicki Minaj. And she was
Yeah,
like, I'm a pass on that.
she did. She did. Rest in
Yeah,
peace,
no.
everybody. Well, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm going to be open with y'all. I've choked on a dick before and almost threw up.
Yeah. It
So,
happens. It
yeah,
happens. That's what you call
like I did not
because
realize deep throating is a real freaking technique. Like
it's
it is
not
an actual technique.
so
You
so
too,
so in
Barry.
terms so in terms of the phrasing, it's gagging, right? So
Yes,
like
yeah. That's the proper term.
so
Yeah,
that's a proper term. So you're not necessarily choking, you're gagging on the dick, right?
and that
But
sometimes can make you feel like you're going to throw. I did actually kind of throw up on the person, but
for some guys that's a turn on, right?
wow, really? The
Oh
gagging
yeah.
or the? Oh no, yeah. I've heard too that the gagging, it's a muscle that when that happens, it does something to the penis. Like, is it squeezing the penis or something like that? He said,
At times, I
like,
think
no, but it's
sometimes
nasty.
I think sometimes it's an ego thing just as well because it's more so like, dang, my dick must be big. You know what I mean? Like, in order for
Oh
her to
my
be
God,
like,
I never thought about that.
Man, y'all
yeah.
still talking about dicks? Jesus Christ, man. Fuck. Can we
We're
move on?
almost done. We
first of
almost
all,
done.
you was gone for like 30 seconds. It's like you
You
came back
show
quick
up.
to find out.
Bro, I was gone for like 2 minutes. What are you talking about?
Look, okay, so
No.
Yes,
Barry
Danielle,
said,
you're right. Folks nasty.
Barry said, yes, it tightens like it's a flex. So when you
Yeah.
gag, it does do that. Okay. Michael,
Yeah.
you in on this too? You like a little deep throat. Just be
I
quiet. Don't
mean,
sit there and act like you
man,
don't.
like
Yeah, choking is natural. It's that whole thing of like there's a reason why
Just,
there's the
just don't
phrase.
die.
There's a reason for right. Don't die. Right. Breathe through your nose. Damn it.
Yes,
Like
oh
yo,
my
one of
god.
my homegirls had to teach me that. She was like, girl, You have to breathe through your nose so you don't gag on. And yo, that's crazy because you know how I practice when I brush my tongue.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So here's the question for you
Don't
guys.
drown.
Okay. Here's the question because like I've done this myself. So when you're sucking a dick, right? Do you not like it when a guy pushes your head down? I've done that. Like I don't
like that. I'd be like, no, let me control. Let me do this because if you choke me and I get turned off, I'm not gonna want to give you no head no more.
Sometimes you have to
moment.
You have to figure out if she has a gag reflex or if he has a gag reflex because sometimes they don't.
Dannielle said, "Do that shit."
Right.
Jermaine said, "Do hey, you're lying."
See,
you're fucking liars.
Who is fucking lying? I'm not.
We just had 2 females saying like, "Do it, do it, do it."
He said we said we lying.
I didn't. You listening to Christina and lumping us both together. I didn't say that was the wrong thing to do.
No, you're talking about what they said in the chat.
I'm going by what the chat is saying right now.
I know. You said. No, I'm just saying that I told you, I just said while you were gone that some guys like that.
Oh yeah.
The whole gagging on the dick thing. And then some women like it too. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a pleasurable thing for both at times. You just have to gauge what works for your partner.
Right.
You know
right.
what
I agree with you.
I wouldn't recommend it if you with someone like Christina and then you just push it and then she be like, all right, see, that's why I don't suck it. That's why.
He know me. That's exactly why I'm gonna be like, okay, just stop.
Too forceful.
Yeah, I don't like that. Especially if you like.
How can I say my safe word if her mouth is full? If I'm joking. How can I?
You ain't lying though. You just instantly get mad. I feel disrespected. Like, nigga, you know good and well you shoving your dick down my throat. That is disrespectful.
Pineapples, nigga. He like, oh, what you say?
You know
what you say?
You know what that is? You know what that is? That's for all those females out there that be like, yeah, I like it rough. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that soft ass shit. You know what I'm saying? So then when you start complaining, when you're choking on the dick, you're like, oh, I get it now. Shut up. You like it rough.
Right, no.
Shut your ass up.
Oh
you won't get rough.
If she asks for a rough, 9 times out of 10,
tap out.
She ain't about to tap out.
She sure ain't. If she asks for a rough, she a pro. She know what she doing.
Right, exactly.
She finna let you shove that. You gonna see the dick in the throat.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If that happens, I'm kind of like, well, shit, should I get tested now? Because now I'm scared.
You know some of them porn on them porn shows. I be seeing the girls giving them dudes head, and you be seeing like the print of the dick and they throw up, like, damn.
Right. Danielle said literally an agreement beforehand.
Girl.
Sign here. Initial here and X. You don't even have to X there and date there. Okay.
Oh my God.
That's funny, y'all.
Okay.
I love it.
Y'all, we gotta move on to the next topic. That was a good one. Woo! All right, y'all.
That's so funny.
Before we move down, like, do you guys bite down?
Okay, so I know there's some guys that like if you do it just like chew on the dick just a little bit. They don't want you to be like, it's the scraping action that they don't like. But if you kind of like place it in between like the back and you just kind of chew on it just a little bit. Some guys like it. Some guys don't want no teeth applied at all. It depends on the guy.
It depends on the guy. I think it has a lot to do. I think it has a lot to do with sensitivity. A whisper of teeth. Right. So like it becomes a situation where it's like
that's my heart with
some gentlemen.
Jesus.
Some gentlemen like the feel of a different texture, right? So like that's why they have those different kinds of toys that are ribbed, and sometimes the toys have like a little bit of a bumpiness to it. You know what I mean? That kind of simulates that feeling of the ridges of your teeth. You know what I mean? So it's not so much like you biting down. Don't bite down.
Don't bite down. No, they don't like that. Don't bite it.
That'll be an emergency room.
Hell yeah, they gonna let you know. You might get stole on. Don't bite the dick. Don't do that because you don't want to catch it.
What the fuck you doing? Get out of me! I'm sorry, y'all. We can move on now.
It'll be a natural instinct, but yeah, that's funny. Y'all funny, man. That was a good one. Okay, I wanted to get loose.
There you go, Dannielle. Those textures are supposed to be similar to vagina insides, but there's multiple different kinds, right? So there's like
that's true.
So there's different.
There's different textured vaginas?
No.
Oh.
I'm talking about the toys and the textures in the toys. Oh, right?
Okay, I got you.
Some are a little bit more firm than others, and then some are a little bit more on the smooth portions of those things, right? So like, you know what I mean? So I guess it depends on when we're talking about using those toys and how sensitive your dick is, right? So we were talking about beforehand how sensitive your vagina is, you know what I mean? Or your clit rather.
You're right.
It's more so sometimes you need a little bit more of a texture rather than something so smooth, I guess you could say, right?
Okay. She said, Dannielle said technically there are different texture vaginas, just like there are different depths and curve. That is true. There are different depths and curvatures when it comes to vaginas. And I believe that might be true about the texture because some vaginas are maybe drier, wetter, in between.
Yeah,
wider.
But that's what I'm saying as far as like when it comes
when
it comes to using your teeth and not fully using your teeth, but
grades.
Changing those different textures within your mouth as opposed to just using your throat.
You're just using your throat. Yes. That was a good one, you guys. All right, so we got to move on.
We're out 30 minutes left, so.
Yeah, so the next topic, we're going to run these through really quick. So the National Education Association, this one's been trending very heavily. There was some comments and statements made by Macy Gray, Bette Midler about this taking place. So the National Education Association debates on whether to replace birthing parent over mother. And I said that I would not want to be titled as birthing parent. I would want to be titled as mother. And I said, let's talk about it. So I just want to get everybody's different opinion. So when there was more information that came out about this, they started saying that they were making that term for the LGBTQIA plus community. And so I just really wanted to get everybody's perspective, and our co-host Kenyatta, he is a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and I kind of wanted him to give us a little bit of a perspective from what is being shined on the light in that community of what that term would mean for their community, and then we can all give our opinions on how we feel and what we think about that term being changed. So if you want to go on ahead and open that rhetoric up on that conversation, Kenyatta, that would be awesome.
Yeah, no problem. So when it comes to the National Education Association, they were trying to put together the term in order to be able to be a little bit more LGBTQIA plus inclusive by using
Mm.
the word by using the phrase birthing parent as far as whoever gave birth, obviously, and then non-birthing parent, which would refer to whoever didn't give birth.
Did
You know what I mean? So I personally think that it's too big of a move, right? So, like, as
not.
far as
Oh wait,
taking,
I'm Ken, not to cut you off. So because we got people in the chat that don't. Oh no, okay, never
Oh,
mind. I
she
think
got
they're
it now.
okay. Okay, no,
So
sorry,
birthing
Ken. Go.
parent, from mother to birthing parent, you guys. Yes, thank you, Dannielle. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Ken.
sorry, Ken.
yes,
Go ahead.
yeah, no problem. So, like, I feel like to take away the titles of mother and father is always going to be problematic because you're stripping people of their titles and their rights and what they've come to know um, all these years. You know, like a mother wants to be determined as the mother, the father wants to be determined as a father. You know what I mean? To take
Right.
that completely away and to give them the title of birthing parent, I think that that's incredibly problematic. The problem is you don't necessarily um, take things away from people in order to give it to other people to solve the problem. What you
Right. Out.
the whole thing that you're supposed to do is when it comes to LGBTQIA plus inclusive, is
Mm-hmm.
including them into the conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to have someone who is non-binary, who is trans man, who is trans woman, and they want to be identified as the birth parent, add that to the form. Don't take away mother and father and
Mm.
then reduce them to just birthing parent and non-birthing parent. You know what I mean? Like I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like there's room for all of us. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
and I mean this world is big, you know what I mean? If I'm filling out the form and I say Mr. and Ms. and Mrs., you know what I mean? It should be the same thing when it comes to parents. It should be mother, father, birthing parent,
Right.
non-birthing parent. Like that, I think their intention to do that is to not offend, right? So like when someone
Mm.
comes up or not necessarily offend, but how to address you properly without always having to ask, right? But if the form is
Mm-hmm.
filled out,
Mm. Mm.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it
I never
cuts
thought
the
about it.
middleman. Like I don't necessarily it makes it a little bit easier than rather asking like how should I refer to you as opposed to when I can just look at your form and see how I should refer to you. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree with that. That's a good way to put it.
So it's like include people who are who consider themselves birthing parent and non-birthing parent. You know what I mean? Include those people and then that problem will be solved. The problem with taking that away is that you're automatically going to have all of these people upset with the LGBTQIA plus community because they're trying to they're trying to say like I would like to be included. You know what I mean?
I understand that.
So
Yeah.
then you have like all of this rage towards that community when it's not the community who's making this decision, it's the
I got
National
you.
Education Association who's making
I
this
got
decision.
you. I
And
got you.
there are some people who are like, yes, include me, or like I prefer to be referred to as that. And yes, abide by that by including them into the conversation, including them into that, not taking it away from mothers and fathers.
I agree with that. That's very well said, Kenyatta. Thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to go ahead and give my perspective on it. I didn't even think of it like that. The National Education of Association is the one that are trying to mandate this change. And I do feel like that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it inclusive for that community as well. But I agree with you
It's
very
too
much so.
heavy-handed, though. It's too heavy.
It
It's too,
is. It is.
yeah.
It is. And I think it's kind of stirring up a little bit of a chaotic conversation because you got people who are mothers and fathers kind of being looking at it like, well, wait a minute. So, you're kind of stripping away my role. My role is a mother. This is what I love being a mother, or I love being a father. I don't want to, because it seems like when you're saying just birthing parent, it's like you're just giving them the title of the action. Oh, you gave birth and that's just pretty much all you did, but there's more to just giving birth, and because it's the action that comes after you do give birth, and what role you are placed in once you give birth to a human being. It's like this whole instinctual invitation that comes into play when you give birth and you have a child. You have a whole human being, number one, that you have to instill morals, values, feed, clothe, bathe, comfort, protect. That is a role, not just an action of giving birth. There's more that comes to it, because once you give birth, the birthing part is over. Once that part is over, after you give birth, you kind of forget about giving birth. The real shit kicks in. Now you have to play this role as a mother or a father, or as a person that is now a caregiver, if you will, of another soul, which is way more, infectious than just the action of giving birth. To be honest with you, anybody that can give birth, spit a kid out, and then maybe give it to the system or give it to somebody to adopt and then keep it pushing. So the action of giving birth is just what it is. But the whole ideology of becoming a parent and a mother or a father or a person that cares for a whole human being, there's more to it than just saying, you're a birthing parent. That's the reason why I don't think that they should change it, because it's something that comes along with that role. Now, when it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community, I can understand them giving them that term if it's because they want to continue to identify a certain way and they don't want to be called a mother if they have transitioned to a man, and now that they want to be able to give birth and they want to be able to be included in that conversation, but they might not necessarily want to have the title of being called the mother. Then I can understand them giving that rhetoric to that community. But if they're just stripping the word in general to dumb down the fact of what role you play as a mother or a father, that part I don't agree with. And then, Michael, you can go ahead and give your opinion. And I see a lot of people really active in the chat on this one. So go ahead.
Chat is stopped for me.
I see someone named A.O. Shelley. Shout out to her. She said, literally no one is taking anything away from them, though. I feel like straight folks automatically jump to you're taking something away when we're literally just like, can you add this? That's what I was saying. I understand your point, A.O. Shelley. I do understand that. But when it was initially brought to the light from the National Education of Association, they were making it seem as though we're just going to cancel out the whole thing and just call anybody who's able to give birth a birthing parent. For some of us who have already given birth and we are already in the role of raising a human being, calling it a birthing parent, it doesn't hold as much value, if you will, to some of us that might have already had children and we play a role as a mother or we play a role as a father. It seems like you're just saying that, it's almost like you just did something that's just like it doesn't hold any weight in a sense. So, yeah, I agree with you with can you add this? And like I said, if the LGBTQIA plus community, because like some of the people that in that community are transitioning from a man to a woman or a woman to a man, and they want to continue to identify as that, and they don't want to be called just a mother or just a father. And for them, it's more of a comfortable statement to say birthing parent, then I can understand that. But just to completely strip people that have already given birth and are already being called mama or already being called dad to now that you're just a birthing parent, it just doesn't hold the same value to some people that feel like there's more to a role and being a parent than just being called a birthing parent.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
don't
like that's
think
something you would call an animal or something, like,
I don't think anybody in the community would want that for a mother or for a father or for anyone who
Right.
is cisgender or straight. I don't think anyone wants for someone to be stripped of something. Like, I think sometimes the problem is, and this is what I expressed to you before, Christina, is that
Yeah.
sometimes when it comes to some people who identify as straight and cisgender, is that sometimes someone's existence they may feel as though because they exist, it invalidates their existence. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's not, I don't think that that's what is happening here by the
Right.
community in particular.
Right.
But I
Right.
think
Right.
the National Education Association is
Kind
possibly
of.
going about it the wrong way by stripping away from um, others in order to give to
To that community.
others. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
I agree. And then I see in the chats, and then we're gonna get to you, Michael. See, Tina did say maybe just play devil's advocate, put DNA from and the two people, and then they can add mother, father, or parent. She said her birth mom not something a lot after I was 4. Her name is Incubator. I've heard that. And then Charmaine said birthing parent sounds just the same as when a baby mama calls a deadbeat father a sperm donor.
mm,
Yeah, it kind of does have that same kind of negative. That's what I was saying. Kind of has like a negative connotation when there's more to just after you give birth, you hold a role now. So,
hmm
and then A.O. Shelley said straight people often feel that way. They often feel like we are trying to displace or take over when in reality we're just existing and wanting it acknowledged. I do understand that, and I've heard that. And Kenyatta, you have also expressed that to me as well.
hmm
And I understand where you're coming from with that. When you put it that way, I understand that but when it's presented to the general that way, it makes it seem as though the LGBTQIA plus community is trying to stir something up when it's not
no,
even really the community that's stirring something up. It's everything else around that's trying to put you guys in place of being included, but they're not going about it really the right way. And it's kind of like messy a little bit. You know what I mean?
that's the whole, and I'm gonna let you get to your mic,
Michael.
but like that's the whole meaning behind the phrase of inclusivity, including them into the conversation. You know what I mean? Like it's bringing them in and embracing them just like you're being embraced, as opposed to othering them and saying that you're over there, you're doing that over there. Like that's not what um the community is trying to push for, is to
Right,
like, here I am and y'all get out. It's
right,
never
right, right.
it's never that. It's more so like include me.
Yeah, no, yeah. And Ayo Shelly, I definitely understand where you're coming from. And thank you for being very active and commenting on this topic. That's really
Shelly,
awesome. So,
and I'm gonna give a shout out to Shelly. Shelly is my cousin out there in Chicago.
oh
Um,
hey fam.
she also identifies as the L in LGBTQ.
Well, hey, the L and LGBTQ. Hey, beautiful. Well, thank you for giving your opinion. That's very well appreciated, and thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate anybody that comes on the show and engages in our conversation in our chat. Thank you so much. But yeah, Michael, we've been doing all the talking.
No, yeah, I mean,
So
I don't have much to say. Like, I pretty much, like when I first heard about this, like, not gonna lie, I was very pissed off. I was not happy about this whatsoever. I thought that this was like, this was a mockery towards women. I
mhm.
thought that this was a way to, uh, well, like I just said, I thought this was like a mockery towards women, and they don't take womanhood seriously, and they like, and certain people are like using it as a way of putting womanhood on as like a costume. But at the same time, it's kind of like if that's something that you just want to include to, as far as like, you know, the documents and whatnot, okay, that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, but like you guys were saying earlier, as far as like taking that term away, like mother, and instead of mother putting or just the simple fact that people are finding the simple fact that people are saying that being called a mother is offensive now, that offends me.
Right.
You know, it's like, so okay, so because you decided your personal choice to go through the transition of being naturally born a woman and then becoming a man, but then you want to get pregnant. You want to, you know, you yourself want to get it pregnant. You don't want to have a surrogate. You don't want to adopt. Like, you naturally want to get pregnant. You want to have a baby, but you personally find it offensive if someone or a document says that you're the mother of this child. You're offended by that. I just don't understand how, like, no one doesn't see the fucking confusion in that. It's like, but the whole purpose of you transitioning to a man is to be a man. And I don't care what anyone says, men can't have babies. Only women can have babies. So that's my argument. It's like, that's what I don't get. It's like, you know, if you're uncomfortable within your body as a woman and you want to transition to a man, and that's fine. You have the option to do that. But it's like, you can't get mad when, you know, when it's down in history, you know, it's written, you know, in documents that, you know, like, oh, you gave birth to this person, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because you're naturally a woman. You were born a woman. And if you don't want that, then, like, why not just go through the proper surgeries to get that taken care of and live the life of a man? That's where I don't understand. That's what I don't get.
Well,
so
go ahead, or Ken. Go ahead.
So when it comes to, I think we have to backtrack a little bit, just because when it comes to
we only got a couple more minutes on this topic.
What I heard essentially was like the personal choice, right? So like it becomes a situation, and I was talking to Christina about it a little bit earlier, is that a lot of people feel as though that people choose to feel a certain way about themselves, right? So like people choose to be gay, or people choose to be asexual, or any of those things. These things are not necessarily choices. These are things that are felt. And I expressed to Christina a little bit earlier that it's the same way as we have to take feelings into account. It's the same way as a straight woman feeling an attraction towards a man. You know what I mean? It's natural to them, right? And it's the same way, vice versa. But when it comes to gay men feeling a certain type of way about the same sex, it becomes a problem. But it's genuinely not a choice. It's natural. So I say that in terms of when it comes to trans men and the trans community and trans women and non-binary, it's not necessarily a choice that they're making. They wake up every day feeling as though that they were born in the wrong body, right? Mm-hmm. And so in order to feel comfortable within their skin, and no one is making this choice, you know what I mean? No one is making this choice of their own volition. It's not of their own will, you know what I mean? It's in order to make themselves feel a whole lot better being able to walk amongst within society. No one chooses to be an outcast. No one chooses to be like, if anything, we would all just be straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if we could choose, we would just be straight. You know what I mean? Just because it would be a situation, but it's not a choice. It's how we feel deep down in our hearts in the LGBTQIA plus. And I think it's hard for someone who is straight and cisgender to understand that, because the society is backing them constantly, because that's just how society has been working. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
it's
not. Well, that's where I disagree with you, because like you now you have that choice. Like, we're not in the 1940s or 50s anymore. It's like you have the choice of getting, like, surgically removing certain parts of your body to have the
yes,
representation of a man or a woman now. It's like
yes,
the
you
gay
have that.
community, like you get like the
Yes, Mike, but you
LGBTQ
have that
community,
choice.
they have their own communities now. Like, I would even argue that it's gotten to a point where it's like, me as a black man, people within the LGBTQ community, they have more options than me. They have more rights than me.
Mike, so you're missing it at a certain point. So, like, if it what I'm saying is, there are in the trans community, when it comes to a person feeling like they were born in the wrong body, those things make you feel differently, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, if you feel like you're a man in a, a woman's body, right? But what would make you uncomfortable is having breasts. What would make you uncomfortable is um, having a vagina a lot of the time. And in the same way, the other way around, if you're a woman inside, or if you're a woman or if you feel as though you're a woman inside of a man's body, like, certain things that make you, that are inherently part of the male body, right? You would want to get rid of those things a lot of the time. And that's what happens with that particular community, is that they feel as though they need to get rid of those things in order to feel completely confident in who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And we can never say that we truly, and here I am, I'm gay, you know what I mean? We can never say that we truly I can never say that I truly understand when it comes to the trans community, just because I'm not trans, right? But I do understand that my feelings have been invalidated as a gay man a lot of the time. My feelings people have told me time and time again, you don't feel this, or it's wrong for you to feel that way. You know what I mean? So I would never want to place on someone else my feelings about how they feel. You know what I mean?
And I get that part. So my question is, if you're a woman and you transition to a man, why do you feel the need to get pregnant then, if you feel that you're a man?
I would say ask a trans man, because for me, it is, I have the ability to be able to create life and create a family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I want that family.
Yeah, but
So,
if you're a
but
male,
it's not so
you
much.
know that only a woman can do that. A man can't do that. Only a woman can do that.
Remove all sense of, like, gender for a second, and think about, like, the end game. I'm thinking about the end game as far as, like, what they want for their family, right? If they want to be able to create a family, it's and they have the ability to do so, then they will do so. You know what I mean? I
So,
believe firmly. I believe
and
firmly, because I believe that trans men are men, and I believe that trans women are women. I believe that men can have children, right?
well, that's
Because you
where we
have to.
differ, because that's, I mean, well, again, this is where we differ, and we're just not going to see eye to eye, because, like, biologically, originally, born, like, you can make the transition to have the appearance of a man, but, like, men can't give birth. So it's like, if you feel in your heart, and within your every being, your every fiber, if you feel as though that you are a man, then you should know that man cannot give birth. So it's like, why go through the transition of like getting rid of the chest area, getting rid of the vagina area, and then like covering that with like a penis and then a chest, but then decide like, oh well, like I know I have this power, as a woman to bear children, so I'm going to take advantage of that. But it's like, no, but you wanted to be a man. It's like, no, men can't do that. Men don't do that. That's only the power and the privilege. Well, some would call it privilege, but like that's only women can only do that.
No,
So
it
it's like
really is a privilege.
you can't wholly say that you're a man, and then like want to have your cake and eat it too, and then bear children. It's like, well, then no, you're not a man. And so
Not
I take
everybody
offense.
is doing that.
Yeah, but some are.
I'm saying
And
some
those
are,
are the people
but
that I
not
take offense to,
not
because it's like,
everyone.
so yeah, no, you're right, not everyone. And I'm not saying everyone does this. I'm not saying that, but some are. They're taking advantage of that, and they still say, well, I'm a man, but I can have children. And my argument with that is, well, that's a lie, because that's not true. Biologically, that's not true. Biologically, that's not
even if they say
possible.
that for
And
themselves,
yeah, but you're,
themselves, how does that affect you though?
because you're creating a lie. You're
Creating
creating a lie that
how
you're going
does
to
that lie?
perpetuate throughout society, thinking that like men can create children, when that's not true. That's a lie, and you're going to have people like thinking and living in a lie. That's my problem.
I feel like those things
Just
don't
because that's the way you
necessarily.
feel.
I feel like those things don't necessarily affect another person.
They do. Just how like
How so?
when I mean, look at our conversation. Someone says that like I'm a transgender man, but I want to have a baby. Why isn't it that what women can't find that offensive and affect them mentally?
How I'm saying,
Which
why
is
does
one of
that?
the. I mean, like
How does
that's
that
a problem
affect
that
who?
transgender people always bring up when they come to like disagreements. The first thing they go to is like, oh well, like this. You're questioning, like, yeah, this even happened yesterday when there was a professor. It was at some Supreme Court.
Yeah, I watched
Professor
it.
was
I
at,
saw.
yeah,
I
and
saw
all
that
he
too.
asked was like, you kept referencing about like, you kept saying birth people, or like giving something along those lines about like birthing people, or giving people giving birth, but would never say mother. And he was simply asking a question like, all right, well, like I'm curious, like why exactly like you're using those like those terms, or those phrases, like I don't understand. And then like instantly, like she started like she said that like, oh well, like trans men can have babies and blah 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 blah. And he was just curious, like, okay, so like, so is this necessarily a woman problem? Is this not a woman problem? Like, help me understand. And then instantly she went to like, oh, well, you're transphobic, and because of this, you're causing harm to the trans community. And let me let you know that 1 out of 5 trans people like commit suicide. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, lady. It's like I asked a simple fucking question, and then automatically, like, I'm the president of like trans people committing suicide, and like I'm for transphobia. It's like, no, I'm trying to understand what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to these like new terms and these new like ideologies that like certain groups come up with all the goddamn time. It's like, how the fuck do you expect me to keep up with that shit? It's like, I'm sorry, I'm human. I can't.
Sometimes people tend to ask questions that they already know the answers to, and
Yeah,
they're
but
not
how do you know that that person
necessarily.
already knows the answer to
Okay,
that, though?
okay, let me finish. I think sometimes people tend to ask the question because they already know the answer, and they not necessarily that they know the answer, but it becomes a situation where they already have a set mind against what they're asking,
Yeah, I know. Listen,
right?
I'm cutting you off
So
because, like, I've had that experience before where someone just thinks, like, oh, Mike, you know what you're like, no, I don't. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why I'm asking you. But because I'm questioning your beliefs or what you feel, automatically, I'm transphobic. And it's
yes,
like, well,
because
how
the
the
line
fuck do you? That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, how the fuck do you expect me to try to understand how you feel, how you think?
Can we tone it down for a second? Because I feel like
I'm sorry, but I'm just like, I'm just trying.
getting to a point of disrespect.
No, it's not disrespect. It's just like simple questioning. It's like, well,
hold on, wait. Let me just chime in for a second.
It's not disrespect. Like, it's only disrespect when it's like I ask a question and automatically I'm being accused of like having a hatred towards people.
There
but it's
are
like,
people
I'm just
who
asking a simple
ask the question without feeling they're not asking the question to gain information. They're asking the question and they already have a stance beyond the question. So like,
how do you know that?
Because there are people who ask questions who there's no intent for their mind to be swayed at all.
To be changed.
But how do you know about that?
Okay, so look. So what I wanted to try
because it was the questioning that it was the questions that he was asking.
Yeah, and then this is the thing though. But this is the thing. But hold on, let me just chime in for just a second.
Because you already have a set mind against it.
No, I don't. Like, I'm actually trying to like learn, and know more about it. But of course,
you're not, because
you're already thinking that like
I could explain it to you.
I'm thinking a certain way.
I can explain it to you, and then you say, but this is coming from a gay man. You're not a trans person.
I'm talking about what I saw and what happened. I'm talking about what I saw, what happened too. He was asking like questions. He was questioning why.
Right, but there are people who ask questions
when they already know the answers to it.
And I'm saying, but how do you know that this person doesn't know the answer to it or does know the answer? Like, you don't know that.
Because they're not open to change. They're not open to receiving that information if they believe the opposite.
But he's asking a question, though. So how do you know that?
They're not open to the information.
Okay, but he's trying to
why is he asking questions if he's not open?
Because that to me is there's a phrase for it. It's a like a fake questioning, right? So like it's
probing.
It's like
it's called probing. It's called probing. So it's when you're trying to
be a good enough answer with enough information in order to be able to sway their mind because they believe against it already.
So automatically I feel that way too, right? Because I feel like he was asking legit questions. And I saw nothing wrong with what he was saying. So I'm feeling the same way.
Hold on, wait.
Right now, you just asked me a question, and I told you the answer, and you didn't necessarily agree with it.
Look, somebody said, hold on, wait.
Memory. Like, what was the question that I asked in?
Just now.
Somebody, you guys. Okay, somebody in the chat. Hold on, listen. Somebody in the chat said instigation versus information. So he's referring to the guy. When the guy was asking those questions, he was instigating what he was trying to get, what she wanted to say. Versus, hold on. Versus listening to her give the information first, then giving his questions. I can kind of understand where Ken's coming. I can understand where Michael's coming. Now, where the confusion comes in is when, number one, we are not a part of that community. And where I'm not trans, Michael's not trans, and Ken, you're not trans, you're just a gay man.
Yeah, I just know trans.
It's more of a simplistic understanding. Right, you have trans friends. But hold on, wait. Let me get my point out. Hold on, wait. It's more of a simplistic understanding when you understand that somebody is a woman and they like women, or a man and they like men. It's more of a simplistic, logical understanding, right? So then when you get into someone...
It wasn't.
Before it wasn't, but now it is. So wait a minute. So now that we have the trans community, that a lot of people are, even some people part of the gay community, don't understand all the way a lot of different things with the trans community. Some of them don't. Some do, some don't. So where it becomes a little confusing is when someone's saying, this is the part where I'm trying to I kind of get where Michael is coming from in a sense as well. When someone is saying, hey, I'm a woman. I don't feel comfortable in my body. I don't like what I see in this feminine state. I want to transition to a man. I don't like how I look in this feminine body. I don't feel like I'm a female. I feel like I'm a man. So that part we get. Okay, you don't feel comfortable in your body. You want to change that so you can feel comfortable about who you are. Okay. Boom, we got that part. So then they go and they transition. They take the medication. I had a lady that I worked with whose daughter did a full transition. She took the pills so her boobs would go down, down, so her voice could change to being more heavy. She dressed like a boy. She cut her hair she had long hair, cut her hair all off to like a low cut where she physically looks like a boy. She sounds like a boy. Of course, she's trying to see if she can get certain changes with her genitalias and things like that. So where it becomes a little confusing in this conversation with the birthing parent thing is because if you're deciding that you are not comfortable in a body and you transition to a whole nother physical outlook and perspective, but then you're saying, I'm capable of giving birth and I want to start a family. So I'm going to go ahead and get pregnant, however, wherever you get the in vitro, whatever you do, go ahead and get pregnant. But I'm physically looking like a man. So I get the term men can give birth because you're not referring to biological men, because everybody knows biologically, if we're talking about science, men cannot give birth. But when you're referring to the trans community, because they physically look like a man, they can give birth. But we're not talking about biologically men. You might as well say trans men can give birth, because biologically a man cannot. And that's where the confusion comes in. What I think should happen is that it should be said a trans man, not a man. That's where it gets confusing. A trans man can give birth because physically, yes, they look as though a man, but on the inside, they still have a uterus, they still have eggs, they still have the dynamics to be able to give birth. So I think where the confusion can kind of disarray is if they change that term and stop saying men can give birth, because that's where people get confused. What do you mean men? No, trans men can give birth. I think that would give more of a clarification of what's being said, because it does confuse some people. And just like your cousin was saying, Ayo Shelly in there was saying that everyone has the right to be upset and everyone has the right to have their opinion. That is very factual and that is correct. But
there's
I think
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that in particular. I don't mean to cut you off. There's nothing wrong with that in particular. I think the problem is like when trans men, they're not saying like, just call me a man. You know what I mean? What they're trying to say is like, I understand and I assume that I am a trans man. I think to put them over to the side and to say that they're not men too, like, I think that that's where the problem comes in, is that trans men are men too. You know what I mean? Just because it's the same situation of like, it's the same. And I question, because I feel like the reaction of what I'm about to say is about to be like crazy, but it's the same thing of like Black Lives Matter. Right. So like Black Lives Matter too in that particular situation. I think what happens is when it comes to trans lives are at a rapid pace being taken. Right. Because they consider them not to be people. Right.
Because they're changing themselves. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So then they then there's like and it's the same thing when it comes to like black men's lives, black women's lives, and things of that nature. It's a situation where it's like white people tend to think of us as
equal,
not equal.
not equal,
You know what
not
I mean?
equal, not equal.
So our lives are expendable like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I'm saying is when it comes to trans lives are like people are killing them just because like as far as like them being themselves and walking on the street and being clocked, you know, people are killing them. You know what I mean? So that's why they're saying that we're people too. You know what I mean? Like we're men too, we're women too. Not to say that don't call us trans, you know what I mean? Not to say like don't call us trans men or don't call us trans women. That's not what they're saying. Or just call us exclusively men or just call us exclusively women.
They just want to feel included.
It's an inclusion, you know, situations where our lives are just as precious and valuable as your lives too. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming. That's where I think that becomes a situation where it's like trans men are men too. Trans women are women too. You know what I mean? So
and I can understand them wanting to have that inclusion. I understand that, but at the same time, you have to give people that don't understand, and maybe they won't understand. Sometimes you got to leave that little bit of a gap open there for people to kind of get used to understanding that, because it is sometimes very confusing because you're transitioning from one thing to the next thing. Then you're saying that you still want to be able to do this. And we understand that you want to be included. That's fine. And we understand that you want to live your life. That's fine. And we're not saying that, you know, by all means, live your life, be happy in whatever skin, whatever you feel like being in. But it's also a natural thing for people who don't understand something to want to understand, or can sit there and say, okay, you know, I don't really understand. It doesn't logically make sense to me. And maybe it's not supposed to logically make sense. I'm just supposed to respect what you choose to do and just leave it at that. But yeah.
And I think that's the difference is you're like, what you choose to do is how you live your life. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't necessarily affect how I live mine, you know?
Right.
And I think that's the problem that we're coming into is that like we should let people live their lives and do what they do as long as it doesn't necessarily affect mine. I think that's when it becomes a problem is that like how I live my life starts to affect how you live your life. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I agree with that.
I don't think that's the only time that it becomes a problem.
Okay, and then Michael, you say your point, we've got
well, again, like Christina, like how you broke it down as far as like explaining, you know, like trans women, trans men, you know, that whole aspect, like that was fair, you know what I'm saying? Especially coming from someone that just generally does not understand or doesn't get what's going on. Which is how I feel about like this. So like just going back to the whole politician guy, you know, like me, like from what I saw and like, well, from like what majority of people saw, like he was just asking like legit questions or like he was like, you know, like he wasn't coming from like an evil, you know, place where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to back this person into a corner because, you know, I have this agenda against trans people. Like, no, he was just asking a simple question.
No,
and then for some odd reason, like she answered like a portion of this. Can you let me talk? So she let me. So she said like a portion of her answer, and then he said something along the lines like, okay, so like this is not like a woman's issue or anything like that. And then instantly she went to, your questioning is transphobic.
I think the reason why she kind of got, I think the reason why she got that way is because she started getting into the emotions of it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, well, like I don't understand. Like, how is him questioning you? Is like, how is that transphobic? So it's like, so you're just going
The
off of your
intention of the
emotions, like
question
you
was
don't even, but you
transphobic.
don't. Okay, Ken, let me talk, please.
He's saying that.
Right.
I'm
He just.
answering
That's what
your
I'm saying. Like, you
question.
don't know that, though. You don't know that. You're just going off of
Well, what he said.
assumptions and
No,
emotions. You
listen.
don't know
But
this
look,
yet.
what
So
he's
he's
saying
simply
is from
asking
her.
questions about the community or about, like, why you're phrasing a certain term a certain way. And it's like, you can't even answer that. And you just attack me with animosity. And then it's automatically accusing me of being transphobic and, like, wanting to cause harm towards the trans community. It's kind of like, well, fuck, I can't even ask questions now. So it's like, well, what do you want me to do?
But
She didn't accuse him
Just,
outright.
just
Listen. She didn't
look at
accuse
the
him
video.
outright. She said your line of questioning, those questions in particular, are transphobic. They are.
Meaning that
hold on, let me play pause real quick.
she called him transphobic.
Let's
because
show
then
it. Let's show
Same
it.
thing.
Then she
Yeah,
asked
show
him
it.
the question. She asked
Let's
the
show it.
clip.
Let's show the clip.
Capacity for pregnancy. Many systems.
Hold on. Let me start it over.
Times you've used a phrase. I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women? Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy. So this isn't really a women's rights issue. We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley. Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what? So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them. Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies? Right. So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important because of my line of questioning. Because so we can't talk about it. Because exactly. And pretending not to know that they exist. I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you about women having pregnancies. Do you believe that men can get pregnant? No, I don't think so. So you're denying that trans people like that? And that leads to violence. Run your classroom? Are students allowed to?
What are you talking about?
Wait.
They're opening up people to violence. We have a good. Like you said several times.
Okay, so what she meant by that, I feel as though what he stated to that community comes off as transphobic because he said he does not think that men was
Right. What I was saying was beforehand. Right. What I was saying was beforehand that the line of questioning led it to there. So like it was the question that he asked and him like immediately asking that question. If you're asking that question to gain information, then the answer should be the answer. Right. So then you take that in. But he continued to ask questions, which was a sense of invalidation. You know what I mean? So it was like, I didn't necessarily believe that. So let me continue asking that question. You know what I mean? So then she asked the question, do you even believe if trans men can give birth? That's why she asked. And when he said it, and when he said it, and when he answered that, it validated that his line of questioning beforehand was all, and it was intentional. It was intentional.
Right.
That's wrong. That's wrong. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. He was just confused like any other like heterosexual males. Like I don't understand. That doesn't make any logical meaning to me. So he asked the question. And then when he asked him, like, he
has a basic mindset of
you don't know that, Ken. You're assuming you don't know that.
Listen.
No, he made it. You're assuming he was attacking her. No, he didn't.
He
No,
said
you're
he didn't
assuming.
believe that shit.
You're making an assumption that he
He
was
just watched
attacking her
it.
by asking
No,
simple
listen.
questions.
No, listen. He didn't attack
We're
her.
watching different
Thank
things.
you. He didn't. He didn't attack her.
Listen. He knew what he was asking.
He knew what he was
He knew. Hold on,
asking.
wait.
Yeah, how do
He
we know
knew.
that though?
Hold
Go ahead.
on. He knew what he was asking because he asked the question. And then she asked him, do you believe that men can have babies? And he said, this is how you know he knew what he's asking her. Okay, hold on, listen. He said, no, I do not think that men can have babies. And she said, hold on, wait.
Right.
Wait. So she said that is considered a transphobic statement or whatever she said.
No, beforehand.
How is that considered a transphobic statement when biologically men cannot produce babies? How is that transphobic? That's
it was because the answer was not enough. The answer was not enough. He was asking the question.
What's wrong with that answer not being enough? He needed more. He needed more.
Because it was based off of the questions were based off of the mindset that was already set. It was based off of the mindset.
A mindset that's already set because he doesn't understand.
No,
I mean, don't you come across people like that all the time?
He understands. He just chooses not to agree.
No, you're just thinking that way because you look at it like one way.
No, he's right. He doesn't agree with it. He does not agree with it. And this is my thing, though. Hold on, wait.
And she detected that.
Ken,
which is why she asked the question.
Ken, let Christina talk.
No, but look. This is the thing, though.
Hear what I'm saying.
No, it's okay. He obviously knows exactly what he was asking her, and he clearly made it known that he does not believe in that. Because that's why he kept, is this what you teach in your class? Blah, 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 blah. But he has the right, if he does not agree with it, but to say that he doesn't but to say that he doesn't understand it, that's not true. He definitely understands it. He just does not agree with it. So if you don't, so in that instance,
that's fair. But automatically, does that make him a transphobic? So just because he doesn't agree with it, automatically that makes him transphobic, and that makes him want to see harm towards trans people.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Ken just said this though. You just said that a couple seconds ago.
I didn't say what you just said.
Yes, you did. You did that a couple seconds ago.
I said that.
Now you're changing your tune.
No, he didn't say that he wants to do harm. He doesn't want to do harm. He's just saying that.
No, I didn't say you said those words verbatim, but you were saying you were going along the lines of like, yeah, that's pretty much what this white guy was saying.
No,
you were agreeing with that a couple seconds ago. Now,
listen.
He's transphobic.
But no.
Jesus Christ, this is why people have a problem.
Michael, listen.
You can't even question.
Listen. He's not. Listen. He literally said the guy is admitting. He's admitting it. He admitted that he does not agree with that.
Yeah, I know that.
That's transphobic.
Why can't he question it even if he doesn't agree with it? What's wrong with questioning it?
No. It's not that. That's not the core thing. The core thing is that he's making it himself to that community come off as transphobic because he doesn't agree with it. And even if he comes off that way, he is entitled to feel and have whatever opinion he wants. But it's still gonna resonate to that community. Right. It's still gonna resonate to that community that, hey, You don't agree with it. So why am I going to continue to even answer your questions or try to teach you something about?
I can have a better understanding of
But listen to
what
what I'm
we're
saying.
talking about.
But listen, he is not.
He's
Somebody
not.
else, right? Somebody else might want to have more of an open mindset. He specifically shut it down completely and said, "No."
How did he shut it
Listen,
down?
He wasn't asking questions in order. He was.
And she
Let
cut
me
her
finish
off.
the
She cut him
sentence. Let me
off.
finish the sentence.
Wait, we're trying to get you to see where he came in as that.
He was not asking the question in order to agree. You know what I mean? Like, or in order to gain information. He already
because he said he doesn't dis. So listen. If somebody doesn't agree with something, but just listen real quick. If somebody doesn't agree with something automatically, and it's already made up in their mind that no matter what you say to me, no matter what you say, no matter how much information you drop, no matter how much you try to get me to understand that a man can give birth, I'm not going to go for it. That's what we're trying to say.
But how do you know that
that's what we're trying to say?
Same exact sentiment. You don't know that. He just simply said, like, no, I don't think a man can give birth to a baby, which a lot of people agree with. But hey, I still want to question, like, why do you think that? Even though, like, I don't agree that men can give birth to baby. It's not even. It shouldn't even be a debate, really. It's like it's just a fact. He was just simply asking, like, he told her, like, yes, I don't agree. Like, I don't agree that like men can give birth. But then, like, he went on, like, to ask the question again. That's when she attacked him. I'm just saying, like, what is wrong with, like, question?
That's why she said the line of questioning was transphobic. That's why she was saying she didn't outright call him transphobic. She said the line of questioning, the constant, because she could detect that answer.
How can she detect?
We could all. I mean, because you agree with.
No. What were we gonna say? We can all what?
We could all
say we can all. Oh, really? Because I didn't see that coming from whatsoever. You did, because like you did. I didn't.
Right?
Because you was asking legit questions.
Because you agree with him.
Yeah,
and listen,
transphobic.
No, it doesn't make you transphobic.
It sounds like it.
I agree. No, I agree with them as far as like men not being able to give birth, but like that makes me transphobic now.
Somebody said in the chat, how do we know he knows? How do we know he?
If you don't believe that trans men are men, then yes, that's transphobic.
Because they're not men.
That invalidates their existence.
I don't see how like I don't see how like factual information is being transphobic or being like whatever type of phobia towards like whatever we're talking
invalidate that whole community.
It's because it's the community. It's the community.
You don't think that they exist.
So no one said anything about them not existing. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like it's just crazy how like you take one thing, blow it out of proportion, and then create like another fucking argument. Did I say that they don't exist? I just simply said that men can't give birth. And automatically, I said, oh, trans people don't exist. Oh, you hate trans people. You're transphobic. Like, I didn't say any of that. Jesus Christ. I just said that men can't give birth.
This is exactly what she felt like having the conversation, because then it was like, why is she having that conversation? Because they're not going to believe it anyway. That's why she was saying.
Because I'm trying to see her perspective. Because he wanted to see her perspective.
I'm sorry, Mike. But that's what she was saying. It was like, why have the conversation if it's not like, why are you asking these questions if it doesn't matter? If it doesn't matter.
So how are you going to ask for like all these demands and you can't even explain your point of view when it comes to that particular community?
We can move on to the next topic because this is getting nowhere.
So you automatically judge someone just for simply questioning
Well, I
Something
think
about
when it
that
comes to this,
community?
because we got to wrap this up. It's
Unbelievable.
already
Wow.
Why ask the question if you don't care about the information?
This is the thing. When it comes to the community within
Yeah,
itself, I'm
because you know
sorry.
your mind is all of a sudden now
Hold
too,
on, man.
right?
Let me just hold on. Wait. Let me get this out. There's not this. There is always going to be a gray area with this one.
And we
It's
shouldn't
always
talk
going to be a
about
gray area
this.
because
I
And
said
that's
it
the
before we
problem.
talked about
You know,
this.
see, that's your problem right there. We shouldn't talk about this, but yet you want people to understand that community. Make that make sense.
no, I feel like we can talk about it. It's fine to talk about it. Everyone is entitled to feel. This is what I don't understand. Everyone is entitled to feel however they want to feel. Everyone is entitled to not agree, disagree, not understand. It's the respect. It's the respect that comes into it. If you don't agree with something, you just don't agree. If you agree with something, you agree. If you don't understand something, you got to be willing to at least open your mind up to try to understand. If you don't want to open your mind up to try to understand, respect whatever decisions people are making with their livelihood and keep it pushing. But
That's where the disrespect comes in.
What?
Is that when your opinion invalidates people?
What do you mean?
Invalidating people. So
like, what do you mean?
These particular opinions that someone may have can easily cause harm to a person. Words matter.
Opinion harms.
Yeah, because
words matter.
Some people.
Oh,
some people.
God, man.
Some people do get offended, especially. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest too, Ken, and I hope I don't offend anybody of the LGBTQ plus, and of course the people in our chat who are part of that community. I think sometimes it becomes a sensitive matter because there's still certain battles that are being fought within that community and within that community, including other communities. So I think that it's a gray area when it comes to understanding. There's a super gray area.
For sure. It's always been a situation along the board, and I've talked about it before, along the board in terms of ignorance, in terms of white people invalidating black people, in terms of the human race invalidating gay people, invalidating women. All of those situations where all of these people have had to stand up and fight for their rights. So we're in a situation where trans are trying to fight for their rights in order to be able to exist and be able to, not all in order to be able to exist, but to be included. Just like black people fought, just like women fought, just like gay people fought, it's always going to be, I just would hope that people would choose to be on the side of not being ignorant.
Or I would just choose for people being open to conversation and having like a constructive dialogue and explain.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Wow. It's like I just don't understand the harm of like having a conversation with another person that doesn't understand like someone's like sexual preference or like their different gender ideology or whatnot, without being accused of being homophobic or like automatically like wanting the death of someone just because they changed their like sexual identity or their like sexual appearance. It's kind of like, well, how do you expect to have a conversation with someone if automatically from the jump, like, well, why am I even talking to you? You don't even like me anyway. I was like, well, that's the point. That's the whole point of conversation, so we can get to know each other. Like,
I understand that.
I mean, if you don't even want to talk to me, then like, why should I? If you don't want to talk to me, then why should I care about you then?
The point of it is the reason why it's hard to have that conversation is if you're not willing to accept what's being said on the other end.
And that there's not,
if it's a situation of you're asking about a situation or experience that you know nothing about and you're trying to gain information, then it should be no situation of, well, I just don't believe in that. or I just don't agree with that.
That's no. See, that's where I disagree with you, because
that's why it's hard to have the conversation.
There's been plenty of conversations where people disagree to agree or agree to disagree. They respect it even though they don't agree with it. So that's a lie.
I mean, that's true.
Why
you can't
have the conversation though?
To have a better understanding.
But he's saying
if you choose not to understand
that the conversation is pointless.
That's the conversation to understand. I don't agree with it. I have a better understanding of it, but I still don't agree with it.
Oh, what? Okay. So you want to have a better understanding, but it's like I can get that
I would like
too.
to have a better understanding of it to like get. I mean, like it would be great to get to a point where like I accept it, but it's like I still don't agree with it. But it's like, hey, I respect it. Live your life, not for me. But it's like I have a better understanding of it. Which is the whole point of having that conversation. I can understand that too.
I can understand that too from his point. Like when you're trying to be open-minded and understand, it might take time for some people. It might take more time for some people to have an open-minded understanding of where that part of the community comes from. Because
no, we're just all we're transphobic, and we want them all to die. We want them to.
No, we don't. I think that was. I'm gonna be real. I thought that was really extreme to say that.
Does not wishing the death on people.
I thought it was extreme when she said that. That was extreme when she said, so they're wishing something about trans people dying or something crazy like that. She said. That was too extreme.
No, she brought up like one of every 5 like transphobic person like commits suicide. Like, what does that have to do with like the conversation that we're having? All right, like one of every 5 like rich white men commit suicide. Like,
because
what does that have to do with Black Lives Matter? It's like, where are we going with this? You're not making any sense.
Questions, which is
but that had nothing to do with the conversation,
and having that particular type of mindset and putting that information out there to invalidate that person's existence. Someone else who identifies as trans could be watching that and feel as though they're not a person because this person is saying that. You know,
because I'm asking a question automatically. I think you're not a person because I'm trying to have a better understanding of your lifestyle, of like how you view shit. I want to see you die. I want to like I'm the cause to like your suicide rate. Like, come the fuck on, man.
Yes.
No, you guys are playing victim. You guys are playing fucking. That community is playing fucking victim. But and if you don't want to have a conversation with other fucking people, then how are we going to get anywhere? Then how are we going to get anywhere if you don't even want to talk about shit?
It's transphobic.
But the only thing,
I'm transphobic no matter what I say.
But the thing is,
you're not trying to accept them as people.
Where's the resolution to that though? Because you're saying
people, so how can I accept them as people?
No, but listen, if somebody is trying to talk about that and you just keep saying I don't agree, then that is the resolution. The resolution is you don't agree.
I agree, but I have a better understanding.
Why so you just
I can accept her lifestyle even though I don't agree with it. We don't even know if it would have even gotten to that point. Oh my God, Ken, shut the fuck up. Let me talk. We don't even know if that guy would have even gotten to that point in the conversation. But we don't know that because she just cut him off and automatically said, you're transphobic.
He was cutting
you
her
want
off.
Death on trans people.
Yeah.
So
they both were cutting each other off.
He was cutting her off.
But the thing is, you have to, when they were cutting each other off, number one. Number two, you have to be open-minded for certain conversations. You have to put emotions aside. You have to put energy aside. If you really want to have an understanding about something, but you're not going to, the whole point of trying to have an understanding about something is so that you can actually understand it. Not so you can say, I understand, but I don't understand. So if you're not going to understand, that's okay. You can have the choice to do whatever you want. But to try to say that you want to understand something when you really truly don't want to understand something, or you really truly don't think that the understanding is even going to change your mind, in that sense, it's kind of pointless.
What's the point?
This is what happens. It becomes the back and forth, the bickering and everything like that. So so I feel like if you're trying to listen to that part of the community, you have to just kind of hear where they're coming from. And there's some things that I don't agree with in certain communities and a lot of things. I don't agree with everybody saying the things that they say about single moms. But some things.
But why should you talk to them then? I mean, it's a waste of time. They're not going to hear you out.
This is the thing. This is the thing. I don't agree. Listen. I don't agree with certain things that they say about single women when they say things like you can't get a man, whatever the case may be with the single mom connotations. Some things I don't agree with because there can always be exceptions to the rules. That's why I might not agree with certain things that are being said. But some things that are said about the aftermath of being a single mom, it might be a very fucking hard truth to accept, but it's a truth in what is being stated in some things that they say about the whole aftermath of what happens to being a single mom. And to be honest, you got single moms killing themselves because they have no support from the fathers. They're raising children by themselves. You can't, sometimes jobs and stuff, they don't care if I'm going through something like that now. They don't care if you got a kid. They don't care. You get fired. Now you can't feed yourself. You can't feed your kids. Now you can't provide a roof over their head. Now you got to risk your children being taken away from you. So and I see all the time on social media constantly blasting single moms, women that got kids on a consistent fucking basis, to the point where I have even had to say, okay, let me take myself out of it and look at somebody else's perspective and try to have an understanding. But then let me go ahead and give them a taste of my world so they can understand from a different perspective. Because some people are only going to see one way. You have to open people up to seeing things from a different dynamic. They don't have to still agree, because there's some people that'll say, okay, you different from this, I can see your dynamic is different. But I still feel like if you want to make sure that you're not going to end up being a single mom raising kids and struggling, you need to do this, that, and the third to make sure this don't happen. And I'll stand on that. That's okay. You can stand on whatever you want to stand on. And when it comes to this particular topic, everybody has the right to feel the way that they want to feel. If I don't understand that when somebody transitions from a woman to a man and now they're saying they want to give birth, to me, that is confusing, because in my mind, if you're telling me you want to transition from a whole nother gender to another one, in my mind, I think you want to completely be that gender. That means you no longer want to associate yourself with any type of femininity. In my mind, that's what I think. It would take me having to go and be around somebody who is trans woman or trans man, and for them to tell me, hey, no, that's not necessarily how it is for us. That's not necessarily how we feel. That's not necessarily how we think, blah, 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 blah. Then I might be able to say, oh, okay, I can understand from your point of view where you're coming from. I still might have trouble agreeing with it, because in my mind, I might not understand, and it might not be for me to fully understand. It might not ever be that way, but I can respect it and try to have an understanding of where you're coming from. And that's where it just needs to end, for real. Because some things, as a heterosexual person, I'm sorry, I'm not going to understand the mentality of being a trans person, or the mentality of being a gay person, or the mentality of being a lesbian, or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to understand that fully. But what I can try to do is I identify and understand where you're coming from, respect you and love you for what you're doing and your lifestyle, and you as a person, as your character. And sometimes it's not worth the fight to try so hard to understand something that you might not ever really understand. And that's okay. So we got to move on from this topic because it's late. We way over. We're going to go to our next topic. Our next topic was supposed to be that situation that happened with those chicks in New York. I don't know if you guys saw what happened, but it did go globally viral. This is something that kind of pissed me off. I know the LGBTQIA plus community, we've had conversations and topics about this, and there's a lot of things that get heated. But when it comes to my community, this takes the toll for me. So the whole situation that happened was these young ladies basically vandalized a burger place in New York. And oh, I'm so sorry, my child just walked in.
Oh, that sounds like Elijah.
Christina, is that Elijah or fuck? I keep forgetting the other kid's name. Malcolm. Yeah.
Malcolm. That was probably Elijah.
Yeah. I can't tell the difference between those two, so I wouldn't know. They kind of look alike.
Yeah, Malcolm's older, but not
Malcolm,
just all the conversation when it comes to when it comes to those women who were. I didn't see the full video. I do remember seeing a snippet of it. And
you know what? Keep talking, Ken. I'm going to see if I can actually pull up the video.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We good. We carrying on.
I know. I don't want to be like, yo, get your ass back in the bed. No, that's fucked up.
That was Elijah, huh?
Yeah, that was my baby boy Elijah. But okay, so let me pull this clip up, y'all. I got it. We're gonna go ahead and show this clip of these young ladies.
Oh, you got it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
You're frozen a bit, Christina, though. You're kind of pixelated. Yeah.
Uh-oh. It's clear on my end.
You look like Mario #1.
Shut up. Shut your ass up. Hold on. Let me go back because I don't want to go through this whole...
Video's a hot mess. Okay, it's like a 2-minute video. It's a hot mess.
We're not going to show the whole 2 minutes, but we're going to show...
One done got big and
Bring a little...
She fell and had to try again. The video was a mess. I'm going to go ahead and play you guys the video. Plus, I'm going to play you guys the news clips as well. So y'all go ahead and check out these damn narcissistic whores from Babylon. Check this out. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
So they're in the midst of vandalizing the store over some sauce. They had to pay extra $1.75 for sauce. Hold on, let me turn this down. And they completely wrecked the store. They got behind the counter. They started throwing things at the employees. As you guys can see, hold on. One of the employees was recording it. There were guys in the store. Instead of controlling the females, look at this one right here. They pulled down the strings. Right.
Oh my God.
Now look, there's 2 gentlemen in the background that could have easily got control of these young ladies and told them, hey, you know, y'all are wrong, something. Nobody did anything. And of course the employees are trying to just make sure their lives aren't in danger because they don't know if them girls got a gun, a weapon, you know, they don't know. They're already throwing stuff. One of them got hit with something and they're still going. If
I remember correctly, I think it had to do with they wanted extra sauce, and extra sauce cost $1.45.
$1.07. Yeah, yes. This is all over sauce, you guys. All over sauce.
Shit. You saw what she fucking threw at? Oh my God.
Yo, wildin'.
Girl, she threw that shit hard as fuck.
Look, they threw something at one of the employees because they're recording it. The young lady that's in the black dress, she took money out of the register.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it was reported that she took $10 out of the register.
Oh, it was called Bell Fries. The establishment was called Bell Fries in New York. If you guys want to go check that clip, you can. It went completely viral. I was completely embarrassed. There's also news clips, but it's a long clip. It's like 2 minutes. It made it to the news, you guys. And it's just a shame because as Black people, we're supposed to be changing the dynamic of stereotypes, especially Black women. We're already being stereotyped as ratchet, ghetto, loud, quick to fight. And that literally set a horrible tone. And I felt like the reason why it went globally viral, I felt like they were trying to make a statement by making it go globally viral, because lately we've been seeing a lot of stuff. People getting shot over mayonnaise in Subway, someone getting their ass beat at O'Reilly's over some argument back and forth, people shooting people over not getting hot fries and in their bag, all this crazy stuff that's going on. So when I seen that over Sauce, I just felt like, number one, initially, I felt like they probably did that intentionally, maybe to possibly go viral. Number two, maybe they possibly were on something and didn't realize what was going on. Or number three, we're coming up in a world where people just don't give a damn and think there's no consequences behind their actions. So I don't want to dwell on this topic too long because we're already ran over time. But if I could just get you guys' opinions and people in the chat if you're still there.
Hey, you got a couple people in chat. I'll just go first. Yeah, it's just another one of those situations where it's like it makes Black women, Black men, just Black people look bad. And it's like whenever you have like certain like conservative outlets like Fox News report shit like this, or like just some like racist like YouTuber online, like they can use this as a weapon. And it's like, how can you get mad at it? As much as I want to defend my people, I can't say, like, what can you say?
Gotta do better, Black folks. Gotta do better. That's a damn shame.
These are actually like beautiful, like look like they had their money together, like pretty much,
decent looking girl.
Decent looking like Black girls.
Not really if they're doing that over $1.75.
No, yeah, I mean, like that,
Right.
So it's kind of like
it's embarrassing.
No, yeah. So it's kind of like the fact that like, and I'm sorry, you can't use the they were drunk excuse. Like fuck that. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like I've been trashed plenty of times. I've never done that shit to a fucking fast food restaurant over $1.75 thing of sauce. So it's just it hurts seeing shit like that, and like. Sometimes I just go back and think like, yeah, this is why like certain other people outside of our ethnic group look at it a certain way.
I agree with you on that. And what about you, Ken?
Yeah, it's that whole situation of like, it's not much to go on this topic, just because we all see that it's incredibly wrong. You shouldn't be doing that shit, and it hurts the community. And then like, I've never seen that shit go down at a Chipotle when they ask for extra money for guacamole. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole joke, right? So like you throwing out, like I got money for guac. Throw that shit on there. Like, why you asking me? You know what I mean? It should be the same situation when it comes to this. And guac
really should, Ken. It really fucking should.
If money ain't no thing, drop
you right
for that sauce. Really, you know what I mean? So like, and then it costs more money to actually get guacamole on your stuff when you go to Chipotle, and nobody is turning up at Chipotle. Nobody is
throwing tortilla
shit. Like, ain't nobody doing that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, why are you doing this? And it makes you wonder if because this isn't necessarily like global chain, or is it because like, I wonder if the business is owned by Black people, or if Black people are in there working. Like, it makes you wonder.
They were white.
They were white. Okay. So that adds even more reason as to why they felt like they should do it. You know what I mean? Like, why are you like charging me this? You think I can't pay for it? Why I turn everybody? You know what I mean? Like, because it becomes an ego situation, and it becomes a race war because of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily know what set them off, but that's a possibility to be like, oh, you think I can't pay $1.75? Or maybe it could be a situation where you feel as though like you at a particular place, and you think that they upcharging you because they think that you can't pay for it. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna show out.
So you're gonna show out. And I feel like that's what might have happened in that situation, is that they felt as though like they didn't believe that it was $1.75. Or I'm not about to.
I agree with you.
I'm not about to pay $1.75 for some sauce. Like, really, you should be giving me that shit in my bag right now. And if you don't, I'm gonna turn this motherfucker up. And I think that that's what ended up happening. I don't condone it. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It makes us look incredibly stupid. It makes y'all look stupid. And,
Hell yeah.
And then you sitting up in there in jail. If you got arrested
over some salt,
how do you explain to everybody that know you that you got arrested for $1.75 sauce?
You can't even explain that. You gotta walk around like this.
If the display of you turning up that shit ain't already embarrassing, that in itself is embarrassing. Like,
Lord.
Like that video that I showed you, where it was like,
Charmaine.
I sent you a video, and these people got arrested because they walked out on a $500 bill, and it was 5 of them, right? So you mean to tell me y'all went out and didn't have $100 between each and every one of you? That you felt as though that y'all couldn't pay a $500. Now y'all done racked up $500.
Right, $500.
And so you upset. Now you walking out. You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right.
Like that, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's mind-boggling. Like, we're supposed to be Black excellence is supposed to be our thing. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to not feel weighed down by our financial struggles. So, like, if you feel as though you can't pay for something, stay your ass at home and make your own sauce, make your own food.
There you go.
And don't be complaining, because, like, why would you go to a place if you can't pay for it? Don't be upset.
Don't waste their time.
You know,
don't waste their fucking time. And then on top of that, you twerk them people's establishment. You don't know if that was. You don't know what that generates for those people. You know what I'm saying?
They destroy
destroy. And then on top, now them silly hoes got felony charges.
Yes, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Did you guys see the video of media like showing them, like recording them like walking in and out of the courtroom? And like how like one of the girls' boyfriends was like, hey, yo, because they're from New York and shit. They're like, yo, we got nothing to say, yo, back up. we don't want to talk. It's kind of like, God damn, even the like. You know what I'm saying? It's like he's not helping. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
not helping. That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. Those guys in the store were recording it. Not one guy snatched one of them chicks up like, yo, you're making us look bad. What the fuck is you doing?
Hey, I will have to say this, and I might be wrong on this. You know, who knows? Who knows how this is
Take your broke ass home.
But in any time,
for real, Barrett,
there was an opportunity for Black men to step up and protect Black women. This was it. This was it. Like, y'all remember the stories before, like, you know, Jada and Will Smith, like how like that's bullshit. That's not protecting Black women. That's her, like, you know, blah blah blah. But this was your opportunity. Stop them from making them look like, hey, what's that racist? What's that racist word that like people use on us all the time? This is your opportunity to stop them from looking like fucking monkeys.
Oh, monkeys!
Exactly what they got. That's what they look like. They look like a bunch of big ass gorillas hopping over the fucking concession stand, fucking shit up, tearing off the fucking like. We look like fucking monkeys.
But sometimes,
it's like you can't get mad.
Let craziness ensue for social media likes.
So
they didn't
feel like that was an opportunity for Black men to be like, "Yo, baby girl, this ain't about you. This is about us. This is about us."
But you're right. You're right though. You're right though. That's what's wrong with our community.
I know they're not thinking that, but it's like, you know.
But that's what's wrong with our community, and that's what's wrong with the world now. And everybody is, I'm gonna get this. Is gonna go viral. I'm gonna get hella likes. I'm gonna get hella views. And then not even thinking that, yo, our community is already dealing with so much shit. And then you seeing these girls doing this wild ass shit. And as men, y'all are supposed to be the leaders of our community. And you see these girls out of pocket and y'all just sitting there recording it. And they were young people. That's another thing. They were young and they're part of this whole generation of gotta get everything on camera.
It's also world's dumbest criminals. If your friends are committing the crime, why would you film it and then put it on social media? Why?
Hello.
Because
Hello.
in case they go to court, what are they going to do when it comes to witnesses? They're going to check your social media.
Immediately. That's dumb. It's in the description for Facebook. They said, I was watching some shit and they said that was one of the reasons why, like, you're able to, like, go on live, record everything. One of the reasons is so if you doing some stupid shit, they can go straight to your social media and use it as evidence. Boom, bitch, we got you. You fell into the trap. Fell into the trap. You want to get a like?
I mean, why would you film your own crime? Like, it makes no sense to me. Why would you want?
I don't understand.
Well, no,
why would you want footage to be out there?
But that wasn't them recording them. That was one of the employees.
Oh yeah, one of the employees recorded it. We're talking about the guys in the back.
The guys
that were in the background.
There's multiple angle footage, and from some of the footage that I saw, it was from the guys actually filming, not from what you just showed me, Christina, because I didn't see from that angle. I saw the footage that I saw was from the men actually filming that.
Oh yeah, Michael sent me that one. That one was from the employee. You saw she hit him, and he you could see the camera kind of jilt back, and the guy's hand. That was one of the employees that was recording it. They actually hit, I think, one or two of the employees in the head with a bottle or something like that.
Assault.
But it's like that's why they got the felony.
On top
I think they
assault.
Didn't they like throw like a fucking register at one of the girls?
They threw the drawer, and then one of the girls took some money out of it. Yep. I mean, just you know what, Black people, as far as our community, if you want to get your respect and you want to get all these stereotypes taken off you, gotta stop entertaining the bullshit. Even if you want some fucking likes, do something positive to get some likes. Show some talent. Inspire somebody. Do something like that. Not no goofy ass shit that's gonna set us back all the way back when we trying to get ahead. Them people, they ain't invited to the cookout. They can't come to the cookout.
Not just entertaining the bullshit. Stop being the creator of bullshit.
Of the bullshit, yes.
You're the creator.
You guys are asking too much.
Y'all, it was a shame, but we're gonna move on to this last quick topic so we can wrap the show up. Sorry we went late on y'all tonight. This is it. This was a do the sound, Michael.
No, what? What was that?
I can't do it.
I still don't know what to talk about.
Yeah.
We have a hot trending topic alert. Our hot trending topic alert. Do the blowhorn sound, Michael.
Oh shit, my man. Wait. Oh fuck. I'm probably fired already.
So that's our ghetto ass hot trending. Support the show. I need for y'all to go to our live events on Facebook. That's 99 cents. If we get 20 folks, 30 folks, 40 folks, we can amp it up. We need support so we can get some shit. All right. So the hot trending.
Hey, yo, Ken was looking at us like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Right. That alert alone made my battery go down 10%.
Oh god.
Okay, so look, this is real quick and then we're gonna close out. The hot trending topic alert, the anesthesiologist with the wait, am I doing it wrong?
What the fuck?
The anesthesiologist gets caught doing sexual acts to his patients while performing a C-section. Apparently the anesthesiologist was putting his penis in patients' mouths while performing a C-section. This actually happened in Brazil. I wanted to show this clip.
What the fuck, man?
So that is, they blurred it out, but he's like clearly looking around while he's putting his penis. And there are other people in the room.
Performing the birth.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just a small clip. His name was Dr. Giovanni Quintella Bezerra. I can't see how old he is. A 32-year-old anesthesiologist was caught on a hidden camera. So so the people that have been working around this man have noticed this, and they were trying to catch him for legal purposes. Hidden camera. They deemed him as raping a pregnant woman during a C-section. He inserted his penis into a woman's mouth. We had to drop this one in because it was literally a hot trending topic alert. And this is what I meant when I said that women are not necessarily protected at times. You are sedated and you are putting your trust in the lives of physicians, and you are under, not even aware, and someone is completely taking advantage of you. And the worst part of it was, people were in there, knew the man was doing it, but they had to make sure they had the footage to call him out on it. They said that he did this to a few patients, and a few nurses saw the incident happening, and their word alone was not enough. So that was our hot trending topic alert. I just feel like as women, I really feel like you cannot trust anybody when you're like a woman, and you got to put your trust in certain things and entities and people. It's like I don't know. It's like women are always being used as these sexual objects. And it's really sad because you are trusting your doctor, and then she's having a C-section. You're performing a C-section on me. I'm under, and you put your penis in my mouth. To me, it's no different than those motherfuckers that sleep with dead women's bodies, that have sex with them.
Necrophiliacs.
Necrophiliac.
Not just dead women's bodies, but women in comas.
That happens a lot too. Yeah.
Y'all shut up.
Women in comas. So
in the hospital.
So I found that out when it came to watching Kill Bill. And that was that was my first inkling, right? So there's a character.
My God.
There's a character on Kill Bill where he refers to himself as Buck.
Yeah.
And,
I know Kill Bill.
And he actually pays.
I remember.
Pays a man in order to be able to be let in.
I remember that part.
To have sex with women who are in comas, who are, certain things like that. And
oh my God.
And gave him a jar of Vaseline in order to do so.
Oh my God.
So
that's scary, you guys.
And it happens. It happens. I think the problem is what makes you an incredibly sick fuck is when you take someone who is at their most vulnerable state.
There you go.
And then take advantage of that. So it's the same thing. So that is considered rape, right? But it's the same thing as raping. It's the same thing as statutory rape. When you're talking about little kids who don't know any better, taking advantage of the situation.
Because you can put the fear in a child, like I'll kill your mom or I'll kill whoever if you tell.
Or they don't, or sometimes they don't know no better. You know what I mean? Like,
like
the
innocent.
Like we talked about the whole situation with D. Ray Davis. You know what I mean? So like later on down the line, it's situations where you are incredibly fucked up. And you are taking advantage of someone at their most vulnerable state. Taking advantage of that. it blows my mind, and to actually see it played out, like I've never heard of someone ever doing that, but the audacity that he had, and then for him to do it on multiple accounts. Like this wasn't the first time. This was another time that he did it where they got it to be able to be on footage. You know what I mean? So it's like it's you got to be a crazy fucked up person in your mind in order to like in the exhibition of it all. Some people like to have like do their sexual things in public, you know what I mean? But in this particular case, he was standing on the other side of a curtain where she was being operated on.
Right. And there were other people. I would have been like, yo, what the fuck? What are you doing? That's the part that got me.
For some people that turns that turns them on to get to the point of almost getting caught.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And that's what plays into it on top of that. But I mean, man, she's laying there giving birth.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's induced. I mean, she's sedated. You know what I mean? Like she is out of it completely. And for you to put your fucking
violate somebody
and then her mouth, like
Charmaine said, what if the man got diseases or got something?
What if she did?
Or what if she did? Right.
You know what I mean? Like fuck the man.
Right.
like fuck him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what?
I'm still just lost and confused how like there was literally a guy right
there.
Like how did he not see anything or say anything? It's like I'm assuming like, you know, when you're like
wonder if he was in on it.
Right.
Yeah. Makes you wonder.
Yeah. It does.
If it's one of those things where you got some men, yo, not to cast any men that really do look at women as just sex objects. I see it in this post.
No, yes. Listen, as a heterosexual man, I've met plenty of guys out there who are fucked up like that.
I'm saying what if he had a disease and gave it to her? That's what I was saying, Charmaine. Yeah, he could have had something and he put his dick in her mouth. Now she wake up and she got, you know what I mean? Like,
clearly, like we just have like the end.
If you have the audacity to stick your dick in the mouth of a person who is giving birth and currently like being sedated, what else have you put your dick in? You know what I mean? Like,
hello.
I mean, the list could go on. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with that, Charmaine. I agree.
I agree with that. That was really, that was disturbing as hell.
Like,
sorry, Mike.
No. I mean, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, it's kind of like just two things, man. Like, we just have like an individual that's like so like mentally fucked up in the head that like he creates like a sport out of like raping unconscious women, you know what I'm saying, like during pregnancy or they're in a coma or whatever, and he's not able to, you know, to do these he's not able to communicate with like a woman naturally on a date, you know, or like meeting up or something like that, you know.
Right.
So this is his way of like this is a way of like getting what he wants from women because he naturally can't communicate with them, you know, on like a dating level or whatnot.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
This is something that he does, you know, behind the scenes.
Right. That's his little behind. No one knows what you do behind closed doors type shit.
Yeah, he's just one of those like very like mentally fucked up individuals.
And I wanted to say this really quickly too before we do close out. And then what she said, he could have done it to anyone that he puts to sleep. Stop doing this to. Oh my God, I didn't even think about it. And that's what I was gonna say too. That makes me feel like, well, damn shit, you can't even feel safe in the goddamn hospital if you go under a coma or you getting sedated.
No.
That's horrible, you guys.
This was in Brazil.
The fact
Correct.
that
It was in Brazil.
the fact that he went through doctor school, college, and all of that to do that. The fact that he studied all. Now he wasn't doing anything.
Right.
You know what I mean, in terms of trying to help that woman or like help her with the birth, I guess you could say. You know
Right.
what I mean? So who knows if that was even his patient?
Oh shit!
You
I
know
didn't even
what I
think about
mean? Like
that.
all we saw was that he was in there and he was in scrubs and what he was doing to her. You know what I mean? So
Right.
like when it comes to now, it could have been the doctor who was on the other side. That could have been their patient. And then to let
Right.
him in and do whatever the fuck he doing, you know what I
Right.
mean? So it's
That shit
like
was horrific. That shit. I feel like that's some shit you see in a goddamn movie. And Charmaine, I never seen I Spit on Your Grave. Is that a good movie?
oof.
Uh,
It's
It's
graphic.
rough. It's rough.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you like horror films,
Oh,
Is it a
gory?
horror
Is it
film or
gory?
is it more like a psychological thriller?
both.
Is it gory? Is it gory? Like a lot of blood, a lot of stabbing, a lot of like
Not
gory
to
stuff. I don't like a
not to
lot of
give
that.
not to give anything away, but yes.
Okay, yeah, I've seen it a couple times on like some of the apps, but yeah, so
It's like The Hills Have Eyes, and it's like it's
oh
certain situations like where these people could definitely be considered monsters. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But by the things that they do, it's very much like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's very
I like
much
this
like,
Chainsaw Massacre.
but it's when people go.
Disturbing.
It's when people go to the lens of the things that they do that makes it a horror. You know what I mean? Or that makes
Oh, I get what you're
or
saying.
that makes it a thriller. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Just like this
they're
shit that
regular
he just did
people.
was a horror.
I think sometimes
Yeah.
people
Things
think
are
of
worse than
horrors
death.
as like monsters, but sometimes
Oh.
people can be monsters just as well.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. I wholeheartedly agree with that. That was just we wanted to touch on that just because it was something that was trending and it was hot and it was something that was just out of the extreme norm and that we hardly, we've ever talked about on this show. So I would just say be mindful, y'all, of who you got taking care of you in the hospital. And that just made that
How
just
can
made me
you?
be like, yeah, that
How
just made
can
me be like,
you?
don't get sick.
How
Grow
can
your own
you?
plant fruits and vegetables. Don't pass out. And then you can't, if you have a C-section though, you got to go to the hospital. You
You
can't have
can't
that in
you
your
can't
Yeah.
house.
even be
What do
you can't even
you?
be sedated at the dentist without wondering if the dentist gonna put their dick in your mouth.
And you know what? I
That
need
would
somebody
make
in there with me at
sense.
all
It
times
is the
now.
dentist. I'm
The
sorry.
dentist
Go
can do
on.
it. The dentist can do it. Yeah, you all mouth at the dentist, all right?
I mean, you are going there for oral fixation. Never mind.
Shut your ass.
I'm about to say, let me shut the fuck up.
All right, you guys, that concludes our show tonight. We did go way over our time, but the topics were great. They were intense. I love the way we were able to discuss the one particular topic about the NEA, even though it got a little steamy and we got on our own little trail there. We brought it back in. I love everybody for being in the chat tonight. I did see some new people pop in. It was great. And also, I want to let you guys know, please, please, please subscribe. Anybody that's new, and if you haven't subscribed, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We only have, I think, 13 subscribers at this time. We're trying to get up there so we can start doing our lives on YouTube, and then eventually maybe get some, some income. We trying to leave our daily jobs and possibly have this maybe as an actual legit show where we can actually benefit. And then, you know, we love bringing you guys the energy. We love being able to have this open platform where you guys can come and speak your thoughts and your views and your opinions and feel like it's a therapeutic thing for you. That's a beautiful thing. And that's what we want to keep bringing to you guys. And we want to have an open platform where we can discuss any and everything without being disrespectful or offending anybody, and just being that open voice for you guys and for anyone else that wants to come on. Shout out to Dannielle. She was beautiful, gorgeous. Thank you for your opinions and everything that you stated as well today on the show. We're probably going to have her come back and do something along the lines that involves like business topics on the show. And also follow us on Instagram at the Mic is Hot Live Podcast _show. If you have not, we are already up to, I don't know if we hit 100, but we got 99 followers all organically. Thank you to everybody that followed us. We love you. Please follow me at my personal page at Shantae Moy. Follow my guy, Michael Foster, at Michael Foster 64 on his personal page. And of course, Kenny Ken. Please follow him at Skipper Finn Official on Instagram. Those are our separate tags and our separate pages. And then we also have a page on Facebook. It's the Mic is Hot Live Podcast Show. Look us up on Facebook. Go like, go comment on some of the videos, the posts, all of that good stuff. And yes, one last thing before we close out. Charmaine with the joke.
Oh, wait. Well, before Charmaine says the joke, I also would like to say that, you know, like, for the viewers that are tuning in, you know, this is going to be a controversial show at times. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a heterosexual man, you're going to have a heterosexual woman, and you're going to have a gay man within Kenyatta. And there's going to be times where, you know, we like have conversations that like are going to be unsettling, that we don't agree with each other at times, and like we get emotional and we say, you know, shit that's kind of like, you know, out of whack, you know. So for anyone that was like, you know, listening to us like during that conversation, you know, like well, when me and Kenyatta had like our like heated exchange, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is not our first rodeo, and it won't be our last. Me and Kenyatta have been like having our back and forth with each other since like 2007. You know what I'm saying? Kenyatta's my brother. I love him no matter what. So it's like, don't let this like, oh my God, like looking two black guys, you know.
We don't, right. We love each other. Just like on the last show when we got into our heated discussion between me and Michael, it's going to happen. We are coming from different backgrounds, lifestyles, mindsets. It's going to happen. But at the end of the day, we still respect each other. We love each other. These are my brothers right here. I love them to the core. I've learned a lot about the LGBTQIA plus community that I did not know, and I'm still open to having an understanding with certain things. And even everything that we talk about on this show, we're not going to always agree, but y'all don't get it twisted. It's all love. Y'all might even come up on the show and we might go, but it's all love because everybody has their different points and views and thoughts and opinions, but what matters is the outcome and the aftermath of it, and that we all still love each other at the end of the day. And then we do take something from it, because I would go back and be like, you know what, Kenyatta, I never thought about that. Or Michael said that. So it's all love. It's all just getting information, understanding one another, having a good time, having fun, laughing, emotions, all of that makes for a great show as well. And it's realistic. We're real people. We have real feelings. We have real emotions, real thoughts, real opinions. But at the end of the day, we do love each other. We respect each other. And we're going to be back for y'all next Thursday, 9:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. Western time. Y'all, please go follow our YouTube channel, please, and all of our other platforms. We love you guys. Thank you for all your support, and everybody have a great night, and we will see you next week. Y'all know the vibes. Peace.
Have a great one.
Good night, babies.